Okay, when can we talk?
No,
Yo.
Let it run for a minute.
You're now another episode, 1FAMRADIO.
Yes, sir.
You ain't got your man Mar Mills.
Yes, sir.
Blizzy Black. No, not Blizzy Black. I'm trolling.
No, shout out
that
to
is Black.
Shout out to E.
Shout out to E Tuck, man. We gonna hold it down for you.
He put that.
And your boy Ike Dad, he back, and we got some special guests today. We gonna let them introduce themselves.
You hear me? Good.
Y'all heard me?
Yeah, if you stop talking,
Very white voice on it. What you talking about?
Yo, shout out to everybody that's been listening and supporting what we've been doing, man. That last episode kind of really kicked in the door for us, like to the point I've been like, I'll be scared as shit when I see cops. I'm like, yeah, they gonna pull me over and be like, ain't you the nigga from that motherfucking episode?
No.
Yeah, y'all had the boy who was exposing
Ryan Torrey,
Yeah,
that shit all the way up. So shout out to y'all.
Hope niggas was paying attention, took heed what was really going on.
Yeah. A lot of people hit me up about that episode. One thing before we get into what we're here for, I forgot about the motherfucking shirts. I bought Google ads, all kinds of shit. I forgot about the shirts, so y'all still got time to hit me up for the shirt sizes and everything. If you was on the show, if you was featured on the show, I'm gonna get with you to get your sizes, but we still got the shirts coming.
And two, when them shirts come in, man, take a picture and send them, man, so we can post y'all for sure.
Yes, sir.
Special guests in the building, man.
Special guests.
Yes, yeah. I got an issue. Matt had some smoke on Twitter earlier.
It wasn't no smoke. It just I saw that the other day. It was, I think it was him. Was like, yeah, I'm recording Saturday with Black and them, and I'm just like.
He asked me why. I said honestly, they thought you wasn't gonna come. So I just shot
you know how we know. I know how Matt is.
Technically, no, it's not even that, because I like your show. Technically, I'm supposed to be working today.
Oh, all right.
I work on Saturday.
Okay.
But you know, I had the crash the other day, so you know.
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah. So when he put the tweet fix, he like, what you say? They want us to go solo. I'm like, no.
Like, we about to be on some Shawn Michaels.
I'm like, no, man. We got TRPE in the building, man.
What's up?
What's he doing? Matt, man. Matt makes me sick.
Yeah, man. These fellas right here, man.
I thought it was just Matt, man. You don't like make me sick.
It varies.
Depending on how you feeling.
It's because my thing is like people walk. Like, do people call you that name?
Black. They spell it funny.
Yeah, you're like 6 lakh. You're like that nigga. Like, it's really black, but motherfuckers 6 lakh. Like, this shit is crazy, but motherfuckers really walk up to me.
They say the whole
joint, and I just be like, nah, like just
Matt. Yeah.
Chad, which one you get in the street?
I get everything. I get Chad. I get Diddy. I get Plus. I get Chitty. I get everything.
Yo, the shit.
The Plus is crazy.
It's retarded. It's literally a fucking acronym.
Chick one day saw me coming out of Rite Aid. She was like, yo, I fuck with your podcast heavy. I was like, thanks. She's like, yeah, you and the boy Plusio funny as shit. It fucked me up for a second. I'm like, Plusio? I'm like, oh, all right.
Yo, man, these two dudes right here, man, I'm gonna keep it real. They introduced me to what a podcast was, but I never heard. Shout out to Joe Button, Joe Rogan, Nerd.
Text Home.
Yeah, Text Home. All I never knew what a podcast was, and you know, to be sitting here with them, like, it's a real honor. You know what I'm saying? Because Chad, you in the nightlife business, you come across a lot of people. Yeah, you come across
COVID retirement.
Yeah, you come across a lot of, you know, celebrities and stuff like that. You could have, in my opinion, you could have microwaved the podcast. You get what I'm saying, and made it one of them.
Yeah.
But you didn't, and we still sitting here. You
Shout
know
out
what I'm saying?
to having what episode
113, but
yeah,
that's catalog episodes. We missing episodes, but we've done other shows that aren't in the numerical order. So we've probably done like 116 shows or something like that.
Like we've had shows
Sneaker
that have like
podcast.
Just having a longevity or the consistency to keep.
How often do you guys record?
When we like
allegedly once a week. In reality, we've been doing a show for 3.5 years now, so we've probably been doing on average like 35 shows a year.
Also, keeping a buck, me and Chad record like every day. we just don't.
We don't
Put
go
it
to the
out there.
studio.
Yeah, we
like,
just-
we're
don't
in
come
constant
here.
communication. This is one of my
Yeah.
closest friends. Like, we talk all the time, and like our podcast started from our group chat, and it was basically like me, him, and Rob, and just the shit that we was talking about, sports betting. For those of you that don't know, like our close friend Rob, like he's like a professional gambler. Like he
shout out to him.
he's
Shout out to
literally
him.
created his own like algorithms and his own betting models and shit like that. And that's all he does is like work on his model and DJ and do artsy shit and stuff like that. Like he's a true creator.
He just got on Action Network. He's like one of their writers.
He
now,
contributing
like
writer
sports
for
betting,
Action
yeah.
Network. Yeah, like he's serious with that shit. So it's like our conversations vary from
He
like.
got me blocked on Twitter, but right.
Does he really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I was talking crazy about Rock Nation or something. I don't know.
He probably had.
He probably had to,
Probably
yeah.
formed that. I think they like that. Rock Nation is like.
It's like
I
Nazi
don't.
Germany.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna call it a concentration camp. From what I've heard, it's really
different.
It's really,
probably had
really.
no
Run their
choice.
tips.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
it's
them, dog.
really wild.
So I wanted to get into that. That we can just get right to it. Speak on how y'all met, because y'all didn't grow up together. So
No.
speak on how y'all friendship.
Can
How did we get here?
Because I literally just had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they was asking me because I delete my Instagram a lot,
Mhm.
and
What you mean, the whole thing? You just start over?
no, like temporarily just take a break from niggas and just go do other shit. Yeah, and one of my homegirls was like, why do you be deleting your page? Because I was trying to show your page to somebody. I was just like, honestly, social media has reached a point now where it's like people aren't using it for what it's supposed to be
Thank
used
you.
for.
Thank you.
So I saw a situation last week where a young lady was having sex. And people was they was like, oh yeah, we don't know who this is yet. And I'm like, yet?
We're gonna figure it. We're gonna crack the case.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with it? But that's really where we've gotten, where it's like social media is all about exposing, fighting, dissing, trying to prove that this person don't got this and they fraud.
Shout out to the close friends.
I've literally just gotten to the point where I'm just like, even on Twitter, I only follow like 50 people. I can't watch this shit. And I was saying the other day, Deuce is one of my closest homies. I love Deuce. I cannot follow this nigga on Twitter.
He threatened to stop following me like 4 times.
I'm black. Every time black niggas start going left, I'll be like, man, just black the fuck out of here. It's like, it's too much negativity. You know what I'm saying? And they've gotten to the point now where you can't even be social. I think Lil said that the other day. Like, damn, you can't be social with motherfuckers on social media no more. Like, yo, you make a friend on social media, or y'all Joe, y'all weird, y'all gay, and it's just like,
Yeah, we talk.
like this is what it's supposed to be for. So I look at social media for me. I know people who have married people off of social media. I know people who have jobs because of social media. People have real good friends off of social media. People find places to live. They find cars. They find all kinds of shit from social media. That's what it's supposed to use for. Bringing the world to you, because you can't go out and meet the whole motherfucking world on a fucking day-to-day personal level.
Social media automated a lot of everyday life. It's the same shit that you would normally be doing, but you can interact with people that's in Paris, people that's in Germany, shit like that.
Right.
Because you have this central location where all of these people are at. So some people use it to fucking make money. People like me. People like fucking Matt. And our podcast and all that shit grew off of fucking social media. You know what I'm saying?
Where it started was, we used to do this shit called Slander Sunday. You remember that stupid shit? That was people don't remember. If you wasn't really there, social media used to be funny.
You should be a Wild Wild West.
Twitter was fun as shit. Like 2009, 2010, it was like, honestly, that's how I met like all of the Kindles and the AOs.
I remember.
We all met on some social media shit, and I remember CSI. I remember people would like retweet all of his shit. And I remember one day I just was like, is he a motivational speaker or something? And everybody was like falling out at the shit. And that's how I met like KHA and all of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And that was what it was. And then we had the Slander Sunday shit where we used to like make pictures, like put somebody
like
next
bad
to a
photoshops.
Yeah, like basically playing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like putting AO next to fucking Tyrone Biggums and all that.
And Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, all of that stupid shit. And we all just became cool off of that shit. Yeah. So I honestly can't remember how the group chat started.
Well, we just over time just started just
I
talking
think
more
what
and
it
more. And
was-
then we became neighbors. Like
We lived on the same
we
block
said,
damn near. That was how
Yeah.
the fuck happened. So we was living down the street from each other, and at the time I was smoking weed. I was out of work. We used to link. Cause Rick lived up there and everything.
Yeah.
That was you're right. I forgot all about.
that was the triangle.
You're right. They actually, you're 100% right. We all lived in Roxborough, and we would just like link up, be
Smoke,
around each
talk
other,
shit.
talk
And then
shit.
we would have time. Then we had one day where we got together. It was 2 times. We was in Penrose one time, and then another time we was up in Roxborough, and we just sat and we talked for probably like 6-7 hours. And I was like, damn, I really like fuck with this dude, and we just really became cool. And then from there, it just went to like an everyday like talking thing.
Yeah,
and then
we would check out Rod, you and Rod, cause on some party shit, he would.
I knew
promote
Rod
shit.
from like the vault
Rod
days
knew
and shit
him
like that,
already,
yeah.
so Rod was like, yeah, I DJ Jones, he would throw whatever.
That shit.
Rod grew up
Yeah.
like Rod literally lived down the street from each other a whole lot, and they knew each other on some party shit. So one day, I feel like we was talking about something, and I was like, I'm gonna ask Rod, and I basically like started a chat with
Right.
him and Rod, and that was literally, and it just got to the point where it was like anything that happened, we would discuss this shit just from like a young black man perspective, having conversations
And
with
just
each
grew.
other. And one day he was like, yo, real shit, because he's always one of them people like, we need to do this, we need to do that, and
Right.
I'm just like,
That's who he is. He not here. That's who he is.
I'm kind of just like, I just want to play cards
Yeah.
and, go home. Like, that's really where I be at. So he was like, yo, our conversations need to be a podcast. And I was like,
So
What the fuck
let
is
me
a
ask you-
podcast?
Yo, let me ask you, Chad, what podcast did you hear that made
Juan
you say
Epstein.
that? Juan Epstein. I gotta look that up.
Ron Epstein was Peter Rosenberg,
That was
Cyber
Peter
Sounds.
Rosenberg. That was,
alright.
like they are literally like the first podcast.
All right.
Like, so a lot of people say like Joe Rogan and shit, but as far as urban goes, Juan Epstein was the first podcast, and basically what they did was they had access to Hot 97 Studios because they was on air personalities, and they would stay after hours and just do their podcast. So like, if like Rick Ross came for some shit for Ebro, they would get him to stay for Juan Epstein.
Okay.
And they just built their brand up, and it's like their conversation was so dope because it's like a black guy, Jewish guy, whatever. And then they would have like super like off kilter conversations about various shit and all of that. Like Cyber Sounds is a DJ, but he's a comedian, and so it was like real interesting shit. And that's how I got introduced to podcasting from Juan Epstein.
Alright.
And then from there, I got into Joe Rogan later, and then Joe Budden shit. But Taxstone was like what made me like,
Let's go.
I can do this
Yeah.
shit. Like,
That was
Oh my God.
because we knew all the
I
same,
never listened.
like me and Tax knew all
He
the
was
same
deep.
people. Like I know the Waynos and all the New York motherfuckers, Disrespectful Tide, all that, because it was like a whole New York community that was interacting with like Philly and shit like that, and on Twitter in like 2013, 14,
Joe Budden
15.
talked about that a lot.
Yeah, but it was only certain motherfuckers that crossed both. So it was like officially Ice crossed both, because he was like, not to put it in, but he was fucking some Philly chicks and shit like that. And then like Joey would come down here, he had concerts and shit like that. So it was like certain motherfuckers that we all interacted, and we was like all 1 degree of separation from one another. And then Tax was like a little bit after that, and then he just kind of blew past everybody in terms of like the Twitter shit, because he was just saying the craziest shit ever. And then he had the podcast, and then his form of podcast, and I was like, I can do this shit. And it just
My
let
shit for me
know.
was more internet radio back. Like I used to fucking when I would truck, so I would always listen to like Opie and Andy. Like they used to have Patrice O'Neal, and
Yeah.
I would listen to Foxhole, Jamie Foxx, and all of them. I had like Johnny motherfucking Mac and all of that shit. And I always would be like, damn, if I ever got a shot, I'd like to do an internet radio joint. So then naturally, when he was like, yo, you want to do a podcast? And I'm like, fuck is a podcast? And he was like, it's like, internet radio, but it's not live. I'm like, oh shit.
It's pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this, because
And I hold on real quick, and I said this on my show, I'm gonna say it on yours. People that like and are interested in radio, there is a whole catalog of Opie and Anthony radio show on YouTube. It is the single best run of radio in history. There is no radio that is better
The
than
shit when they had Patrice
with,
up there,
with Opie and Anthony, Patrice O'Neal, and
I
Jim
said
Norton.
Andy, yeah,
It is the best run of radio ever.
I got heard.
It's the they talk about everything
Because Patrice O'Neal was just such a he was a viral moment in a moment. Like everything he
That was a
said,
comedian, boy.
yeah, everything
passed
he
away.
said
Yeah.
and did was just like so knowledgeable, but so funny, but so real. Like he had a situation where he actually got arrested and went to jail.
As a
He was like
teenager,
16
yeah.
for sexual assault. Like they partied a chick and basically one of the niggas who wasn't there went to her and like tried to blackmail her for some pussy. Like, yeah, if you don't give me some pussy, I'm gonna tell everybody you a whore and got ran through. And she went and was like, yeah, they raped me. And they booked Patrice O'Neal, and he went to jail with like the big dogs when he was 16. And he just be telling these wild stories. It's just the content was just so fucking good.
It's the best run of radio ever. So it's like if you want to do this shit and you aren't familiar with Opie and Anthony, you're cheating yourself, because there's a whole library of shit out there as far as content wise that touches every button. Racism, dating, fucking age, like everything that you possibly want to hear, it's in that catalog.
That for me be the biggest thing with like podcasters, because a lot of people have podcasts now.
I was about to ask y'all that. First one is right. You know, doing this, you start from day one. You got to learn. You got to get better. How far back can y'all go to listen until you be like, nah, we was.
Oh, listen, I listened to episode 6 the other day with Spank. I'm like, this show stinks.
No, how far back can you go that it's like, all right, this was a good one? Because we got this, what, 15?
Oh,
it started at 5. It's 4 or 5 for me. I'm gonna keep it real. How far back can y'all go?
I'll be honest with you, and I'm just keeping it a buck with you. What did Just tell us? Was it 11 or 15? Something like that. Yeah. I think he used to say, your first 11 is just throwaway. It's just you trying to figure your voice out, your flow out. I remember I listened to, it might have been your first or your second joint. And literally, I cut it on, and no bullshit, for like the first 4 or 5 minutes, y'all was just like, so what's going on, fellas? What's going on, fellas? And I'm just like going forward, like, they're not there yet, man. Like, and that's just kind of how it be. So it's like, I look at even our Jones, like, and everybody like initially loved us coming out the gate and be like, yo, y'all shit is great. And I'll be like, yo, them Jones is they unlistenable.
I'll tell somebody, like a new person, like, yo, you fuck with the Jones, you started.
Like I'll literally, like if I'm in the gym or I'm doing something, I'll go back to just randomly. I'll just like scroll my thumb and where I land 84. I'm gonna listen to that.
Episode 5. Y'all niggas, episode 5. It's a reason that episode that was like a moment. I don't know if y'all know that.
Social media
joint. No. Yeah, that was the joint. Yeah, that shit was.
Only half of it is on the internet. We can't recover the other half.
Yeah. But I remember that joint.
I mean, everybody do. Like it's kind of that, and then the Migos for President joint kind of just like shot us off.
The beginning of this was.
But I
didn't think it was that bad. Though.
I know you're like
no.
When
you don't. Once you see progress and you look back, it's hold on. Black got better with the breathing. First joint, he was doing nothing.
And fucking this table up.
We was killing the table.
You don't.
No, I think we had a problem with probably just running over each other.
We struggled with time.
That's it.
It was 47 minutes. I was looking at the top.
Like the way your voice sound?
Say it again.
Do you like the way your voice sound?
No, but
I thought I was the only one.
That's just life.
I sound like Barry White every time I talk. I don't feel like it, but
you tried to give yourself a what?
You tried
to flex. So let me ask y'all, what in your opinion, what goes into making a good podcast?
That's where I was about to.
Go ahead.
This is because I was literally just having this conversation the other day with somebody. You really no homo. You gotta learn your partner. It's like being with a woman. So I'm not even trying to be funny. It's like it's like you ever watch figure skaters?
Yeah.
And I throw the bitch in the air and look over here, but I can catch this bitch like I know where the fuck she comes. So it's like for us, I can look at the topic rundown and I know. Like last week, the Snoop DMX shit. I knew I was gonna take lead on that, but then I'm like, this is all you. The shit about P with QC. It's like I just know the lobs. I know him versus Bill Collector. I know this is. So what happened to Bill Collector? Like I know where.
You know he ain't gotta do nothing.
Right. Yeah. So it's like it's just like playing basketball. Like LeBron. It was funny because it was a play the other night where they was playing the Raptors. Mm-hmm. Bron was backpedaling. Kyle Lowry was on like a break. If you can pull it up, Kyle Lowry was going. On a break down the court. LeBron was backpedaling and didn't turn around. And it looked like Kyle Lowry was gonna blow, like he did blow past him. And LeBron was almost like he was looking off over here, like on some like not paying attention to the ball handler shit. Kyle Lowry went past him, and as he went past him, Bron turned and blocked it off the back. Like Bron, he saw it the whole way, and it's just that's kind of how it is. You just kind of know where to be at.
Where he wanted him
He
to go.
straight let him go. Like he go because in his mind, oh shit, I blew past him at the lane open. Hulked right in behind him and blocked the shot off the glass. And it's like, that's kind of how this shit is. It's like, that's what I mean. Them first couple joints,
It's a filling out process.
you more so just having a conversation you have on the block or in the car or on the phone.
But you gotta make it interesting.
But and you trying to figure out like your strong point, where you can do this, where you can do that, where you can't do this, where you can't do that, and that's kind of where I'm like,
how do you like keep it organic but make it entertaining as well?
Well, our shit is we never stop talking. Like, when we're not recording, we're still in constant communication with one another. So it's just,
Like,
it's just an extension of our
Stop trying to
regular
leave a group text, man.
I keep it about with you.
That's my shit. I get the fuck about that group.
Yeah, we get to arguing back and
Let me
forth.
tell y'all something. Hold on. T, you was up. Remember we did the episode 38 in Chicago, and it was me, you, and E, and we started talking about that Black Lives Matter shit. Listen, dog. I said I'm on the podcast with the wrong motherfucker.
It literally gets to the point where it's like, because we have so much conversation outside of recording that I'll be almost on the tip like, damn, I don't want to have this shit not recording.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll throw some shit in the group chat like, yo, did y'all see this? And then he'll send a voice note that's 5 minutes long. I'll be like, fuck. Because I know it's like, damn, we almost going to have to like discuss it again or go back over it.
and
So
you can't recapture the moment.
right.
Yeah.
Like, I keep it going. We had a situation at the old studio. I want to say it was episode 8.
Yeah, we recorded the same show 3 times.
We recorded the episode. We did 2 hours. We got done recording, and Just was basically like, "Oh shit, it didn't record," and we was like,
Yeah, then the second one corrupted.
You
The
can't-
file corrupted.
and we was just looking like, because you can't recreate those laughs.
Then we did it again, and we did it better, and the file corrupted.
And the file fucked up, look, to where it was like this noise going on in the
The whole
background.
joint was like
The whole joint.
it was like a converter box that he had that failed or some shit like that, like a relay point of where the audio went to that failed on us.
What time at night was it?
No, it was in the middle of the afternoon. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Wednesday.
Yeah, it was weird as shit, but
and then we had to do it a third time.
And then the third time
It was so bad, we had to use the one with the bad audio.
yeah,
I remember that.
because we couldn't even like
It's a
put the
constant
same
ticking. It's a
energy
constant ticking the
back
whole
into
joint.
the shit.
Yeah, I
you know?
can say that.
Yeah, so it's one of them things. Like I said, it take time. Like it sounds crazy, but like it really do just take a minute. Like
Yeah.
One thing I've realized with them is like it's different aspects of it. He not here, but he is super. Don't take nothing at face level as far as the government, the media, and nothing like that. So
Conspiracy E.
yeah.
Okay.
So with him, like this Black Lives Matter shit.
Oh, we went back and
I've
forth.
been writing notes. Like if I gotta come in here and disagree with E, I'm writing this shit down. I got notes and all that. I got
We
facts.
talk
and
about
all
that all the time. Like we our point of view, we coming with facts. We don't want to lead with emotion.
Right.
Because you lead with emotion, you saying a bunch of BS that don't make sense.
Yeah.
As the men, we supposed to have the logic. So, but when we talk, I'm talking facts.
right.
No opinions. We're not stating opinions like they state. I mean,
Or if it is an
But
opinion, it's an opinion based off of what you know.
Yeah, because I feel like everything is subjective to a certain point.
But he a heavy, you know.
like we man, him go back and forth.
He goes straight to
everything.
research though.
Yeah.
Research.
When he
with him-
speaks his doing is
With him,
fact.
he
He the wild card.
this our wild card / wild off. This our wild.
He the one that keeps it organic. Like we
Yeah.
try to keep it structured, but then Chubb
And then
come
I
in
walk
like,
in with 2
No,
bottles.
I'm
Let me
gonna do
tell
my
y'all this story.
Shout out to that wine room.
We had Sumi and Ryan in this joint.
Okay.
We talking about the Black Lives Matter. She
That
said,
sounds lit.
we gonna do, stop, bro. So we like, all right, we gonna do the Black Lives Matter episode. We gonna do it from a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
We get Sumi in, we get Ryan. We sit down, everything straight. All you hear is, this motherfucker walk in with 2 bottles of Ciroc, some motherfucking Hawaiian room, talking about, yo, y'all good. We in here, he must have thought it was lit. There wasn't no microphones in this motherfucker. I was like, yo, we here to do, like, he on the pot. Then shout out to Rod, she hated him.
Yeah, I like Chubb drawing. He in his bag right now.
Every time Rod come on this podcast, she argue with this nigga, but we need it. I think everybody
No,
knows
it's
something.
not
Bring
that. It
something
was
different.
just, it was, in my perspective, it was like the 3rd episode talking about the same shit. I mean, at one point, when we gonna get back to me, like being us, being funny, like it's,
Right.
Yeah.
it's 4 of us be,
Just
to
like,
me,
all right, pull the plug on this shit.
yeah,
But
to
sometimes,
me,
you know, certain
it's all of
topics
us,
is just-
like,
It take longer to get
Yeah.
to the.
no,
Yeah.
to me,
Or take
it's-
more than what
it's-
your time frame you'll have to really cover
That's-
all your
yeah, that
opinions
too.
or your thoughts on it. So,
To me, it's like all of us, all 4 of us, you know, we bring different perspective. We all different. We all grew up together with it, and I think that, you know, Black to me, he more the quarterback. Cause when it do start to get died down, that's when he come back and throw a topic in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's
and then,
kind of
that's
what
what
I mean.
got my, he the one that's going to keep everybody doing the funny tip. You know?
Yeah, like running ball, you can't have everybody pushing point.
Oh yeah, it's not
you got
like,
another position.
Yeah, so it's like you know who the fuck can catch a hoop and who.
and it was just,
You know not to allow that shit to still
Perfect
count.
example, right? I've been watching a lot of OKC basketball since since the bubble came back or whatever, and watching Chris Paul orchestrate the way he is with that team compared to like how terrible he looked in Houston. It's like you gotta know who the fuck the point guard is, and him and James Harden splitting point guard duties devalues both of them. You didn't get the best out of either one of them because they both are trying to share a role and pick and choose who does what. Whereas when I watch OKC, Chris Paul is the fuck in charge, and he looked like Chris Paul again. He looked like CP3.
Not for nothing. I just seen a video today that Chris Paul dunked on Dwight Howard. I didn't know.
That was 30 years ago.
You seen it?
Fuck yeah, when it happened.
Yeah, I did see it. I did see it. I missed that episode.
So I want y'all, one thing y'all podcasts do for me, like y'all speak from somebody like, it's a scenario like this. All right, so we got these waters in here, right? So if the way the world is, if Mar was in here with a different water, the only difference a lot of society will be able to see between those two waters is the price difference.
Right.
Instead of the fact that's the water he wanted. So I want y'all to speak on the importance of like being yourself and putting confidence behind it. Sort of like you say about jewelry. It's a fucking market on fake jewelry instead of expanding your horizon and seeing that it's something else you like that you can afford, and you can afford this, get it, and say, yeah, this is my watch.
Yeah.
Like just the importance, and you speak on it a lot too. Like
I hate that.
Yeah. So
like,
me and you, we
like,
argue back and forth about
we
this shit.
literally hit a
I hate niggas.
we literally hit a point in society where
I
it's
hate
like
ignorance.
people. We literally just talked about this on our show. We talked about how the PUA shit got motherfuckers wilding out and doing shit that they just never done because they've been on Instagram, watching Meek, watching Lil Baby, watching all this shit.
From? Attention is new money.
No,
I don't even
attention
think-
is like the new thing. Right?
Attention is the new money.
I'm not even saying that it's attention. I'm talking about like, I'm more so going to like what he was saying with like being yourself. Motherfuckers basically get told what to like and what's hot. And you got people that are like breaking their necks to literally, I said on the show, like, one of my homegirls was like, yo, Neiman Marcus, like, we have nothing up here. Like, everything is gone. She's like, they're buying the ugly shit. Like, they don't even care. But it say Balenciaga, it say Gucci, it say YSL. So it's like, give it to me. And not 8 times out of 10 motherfuckers, I've heard motherfuckers tell me, yeah, these shoes hurt my feet. Well, then take them the fuck off. Like, why do you have on them big ass Balenciagas every day if they hurt your feet? That don't make no sense. But
Have you ever tried them on?
they don't make them in a 48. Biggest size I carry is a 47.
They super heavy. I don't know how people walk around with them Jones.
I've seen them in a 47, only a couple colors, but that's a 14. They don't make them in a 48. So and then a lot of that.
Damn, size 15, but
yeah, a lot of the European shit, you be having like almost wear a size up. So I got Gucci sneaks, but they are 15 and a half or 16. You know what I'm saying? Now Balenciaga made the arenas in a 48, but they've done nothing else. The speed trainers, the big joints. I forgot what the big joints even called. But Triple S. They don't make that shit past a 40. I've seen 47 in like 1 or 2 colorways. But for me personally, I don't really. I like sneakers. I don't give a fuck. I'm a sneaker nigga. But it's like I like the sneaks I like.
Yeah.
I posted the Jaden Smith Jones the other day. Motherfuckers hit me left and right. Like, oh, them Jones fire, them Jones fire. But motherfuckers was like, I don't like these. I'm just like, bitch, in my ass.
What? I like them.
In my ass, you bitch. And so
I think your podcast represent, and you speak on that a lot, and Chad, you speak on it a lot too, as to where, Chad, to me, you one of the people, like, if something was to happen, God forbid, where you couldn't afford things you like, it doesn't take a letter off your name. It doesn't take any value out of your name.
Listen, here's the thing, right? My perspective on life completely altered in 2013 because I went broke. I talked about this on my podcast. I talked about whatever fucking media I go on. I went broke, like, and it was really my own fault. Like, I was living beyond my means. I was spending too much money. I was being too like opulent in terms of shit that I was buying, and the bottom fell out of like the party market at the time, and I didn't have nothing else going on. So in being broke at 30, like that shit changed your whole like perspective on life. Like Big said, being broke at 30 give a nigga the chills. Like that shit is real. I went through that shit, and the only reason why I wasn't homeless or had to move back with my mom is because a homegirl of mine was like, I can't see you like this. Come back come live here with me until you get yourself together and figure
Shout
it out.
out,
Like,
bro.
yeah, you a smart nigga. Like, you gonna figure this shit out. It just might take some time. And that's the only reason why I was able to rebound. So ultimately, in that, I learned that like who I am isn't determined by what I have or even what I do. Like, it's about my self-worth as a man and how do I treat people? Do I take care of my mother? Do I look out for my brothers and sisters? Like, am I a good person? Am I respectful? And I just go through life leading with respect. And just to show people that I'm not disrespecting them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just important for me to let people know, yeah, I got this, I got that, I got jewelry, I got cars, I travel whenever the fuck I want. But so what? Like, it's just, don't define me as a person. It's like, who am I at my core and what are my core values and what the fuck do I stand for? And my morals, values, and principles mean more to me than anything.
I think
Cause I don't mean to cut you off real quick, but that kind of turned me off from social media. Seeing all of the people trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you know that ain't them.
What killed me with social media is you're not allowed to like what you like.
Nope.
Yeah.
I see people get their opinion changed in 1 second.
Yep.
I like this.
I'll take it a step
but I was
further.
saying that shit is corny.
I say that it from listening to y'all, I think we all could feel the same way. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we need more breed of people like us that don't care what other people think.
We're the minority.
That's the joke. We need more of a breed
We're
of
the
people
minority.
saying, fuck what you think.
Groupthink.
I'm still doing this regardless.
Groupthink is the law of the land.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm one of them. I can't. That's why I don't have social media. I'm too sensitive. Like somebody say something about that, I'm trying to really see what shit is.
Like,
I just can't. You know what I mean?
I feel like people have gotten to the point where they're not really assured of themselves, and really that comes from like your upbringing,
Lack of
like,
parenting.
I ain't even gonna say lack of parenting or just bad parenting to a certain
You
extent.
can't just blame it on the parents.
So, no, but hear me out.
You get your don't you get your confidence
I was
from your
about to say,
parents?
hear me out. It's like I drive the bus. So I was saying it a couple weeks ago. It was like I was driving the bus and this lady was just talking so just nasty to her kids. Like she called the one young boy, she called him ugly. Like she said that. And he was ugly, but it's just like, hey, you ain't supposed to say that shit. Like she just like, sit your little ugly ass down. And it's like you hear that shit from your mom. It's like, god damn. Like what what the fuck you think he gonna be like when he get out into the world? His self-confidence and self-respect is gonna be in the fucking toilet.
That goes back to what when we was on Station Head when you said
A lot of shit that people go through the
Yeah.
streets, it started at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like for
started
me
on.
growing up, my dad was a strong, confident black man. So it's like I see this every fucking day. My mom had a master's degree, went back, got another master's degree, was the shit, wearing Donna Karen, all that shit. And that I see this shit every day. So I saw a strong black man, a strong black woman, and then the music at the time, we didn't have music that was as ridiculously terrible and ignorant as it is now. We had like, niggas that was telling you street tales and street stories, but it was almost giving it to you like, don't do this dumbass shit, go do this. And then you had like, I'll never forget hearing Biggie like, fat, black, and ugly as ever, however, and I was like,
I stayed.
There's a however?
like, oh shit, like that's a hell of a way to look at it, like, what I'm saying? So it's just, you develop a understanding almost. So I knew growing up, like, all right, I probably can't dunk. You know what I'm saying? I can't get up there. So I ain't the basketball nigga. But I realized when I would be around at the park, and I'm talking about like youth, I'm talking about me being like 8, 9 years old, motherfuckers would listen to me like tell dumbass stories and jokes and play around. So it was like, oh shit, I'm funny. And then when we would be in class, motherfuckers would be like, I was to people, I guess, like the target. Because you fat, you black. And back in the day, you fat and black, nigga, you down too.
Yeah.
Walking in the building, nigga. It's 02 to start.
Eat up like bacon right now.
So I literally had, you gotta develop, first off, thick skin, and then second, you gotta be able to like,
Quick wits,
so
have a response.
that shit just made me to where it was like, I became like the funniest nigga, and that's what I was saying to my man the other day, it's like, I was the fat black kid, but I wasn't like wearing shirts with the titty pocket and getting beat up, and it was none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I literally got to the point where I just became like the funniest nigga in school because I had all the jokes. And it was like, I was literally a motherfucker where I would say some fly funny shit before, and then if we start fighting, just lay on you. Nigga, what the fuck you gonna do? So it was like, you develop like a, almost like self-awareness almost of who you are. And a lot of motherfuckers now, they really don't have a foundation coming out into the world.
Right.
So if you don't have a foundation at home, you don't know who the fuck you are. So that's why you see people where one summer they on. I've literally watched one of my young boys run away where one summer he was a skater. Nigga was on his roll bounce. He was just at the skating rinks every year. Then the next summer he was in the gun range. He was the gun nigga. Then the next summer he was doing some other shit. Then I seen one summer he was trapping. The nigga, like he was trapping like a mother. And it's just like he just trying to figure it out.
I got a quick question for both of y'all. Like in this, what role do the women play? Not the mother, but just like your peers, as far as like the women, as far as like that's your peers. Because you know, a lot of times you do it for trying to impress women.
Okay.
The crazy part is, I feel like me personally.
What was that question?
I get what he's saying.
No, yeah.
And he's basically saying like, where do you put women? Like, do you put blame on the women for the way that the men kind of like carry?
Yeah, are they motivating part of the nonsense?
And I'll be honest with you, I could be wrong. This is just my personal opinion.
Go ahead.
I feel like women are out here trying to impress women, and guys are out here trying to impress guys.
Yeah, I'm there.
I don't even think that it's like the opposite
I agree
sex.
with
I'm
that.
saying, Nick,
I agree with that.
we just went through. We're not even through the summer yet. Y'all remember the video where they was in the store fighting over the polo T-shirt?
Yeah.
Right. We just talked about it.
A couple weeks ago, I'm on Twitter and they say, "No, we all polo T-shirts." Where all the fucking polo T-shirts at? Bring them the fuck back. That shit right there, that material shit. I stay far away from that shit. I can't keep up. I see y'all wearing Von Dutch hats again.
Are they really?
Yeah.
If somebody else started, it had to be somebody popular.
They started wearing the Von Dutch hats again because a lot of people wanted the Chrome Heart hats and couldn't get them. So they went and bought the Von Dutch hats as a stopgap, but then they got the PUA money, so now they got the Chrome Heart hats. So fuck Von Dutch.
Von Dutch hat gonna be back out.
So
See that type shit? I can't keep up with that type shit. I don't want to, but I see people. So if you wearing polo, you wouldn't last a day on Twitter. They're like, what the fuck is that? We wearing this. But if Lil Baby throw that same shirt on,
it's up. It's
you
up.
up. It's back to stop. Like yo, I stay away from that shit. I don't. I'm starting to. And even on social media, I'm starting to gravitate towards people that are more comfortable.
Couple points I want to make real quick.
Corny people
Let me make a couple quick points uninterrupted. One, I had a summer recently. I was like 2017 summer, new Rolly. I spent like $40,000 on clothes. I was posting pictures every day. Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I was fucking the gram up. You know what I realized? Nobody fucking cares. Like, so once I realized that no matter if I got on a fucking American Apparel black t-shirt or a Gucci shirt, nobody gives a fuck because I would post a picture wearing a black American Apparel t-shirt and some fucking Adidas joggers and I would get the same amount of likes as I did with the Gucci shit on. Nobody cares. They don't give a fuck. And secondarily, a lot of that shit is like a uniform. Like, I got my close homie, right? I talked to him the other day. We was FaceTime and I was like, yo, you got on what was that, a Louis shirt you got on? He was like, nah, bro. He's like, honestly, I can't even buy none of that shit no more. He said, that shit is like a uniform at this point. Like, he's like, it's almost like I feel like I'm in rapper mode when I put that shit on. He said, I counted. I had 53 Gucci shirts in my closet. I can't wear none of it. I feel like a nigga that just came home from doing 15 years. Because the shit is so specific to a certain time period. It's so dated, you can't even get no replay out of it.
It's crazy as shit. I bought some Gucci sneaks off of eBay. I get all my shit off eBay. This big feet shit. I bought some Gucci sneaks off eBay. My one homie, they got delivered while he was there. So whatever. I bring the box in. I open it. He seen them. He was like, "When you get them joints?" I was like, "I just got them a couple weeks ago. I like the design, whatever." He was like, "You know they last year joints," and I'm like, "Everything in here is last year." The couch, telling me, what the fuck? I know, but that's how think about how crazy that is. That white tee, you could wear it till it fall apart.
Right.
But if you wear a Louis shirt from last season, it's like
somebody gonna catch up.
He fucked up. Like, it's crazy.
Now you fall scrutiny to the gram where it's like, man, that nigga wearing the same shit over and over. You might have worn the shirt twice.
Think about how wild
it's a $700
like,
shirt.
Motherfuckers will literally be like old ass Gucci's, old ass Balenciagas. But I literally can come outside with South Beach LeBrons on tomorrow. And everybody
10
like,
years ago.
What the fuck you get to? I ain't gonna get. It's crazy. It's insanity. Think about that.
That's why I stay
Can't
away
fall
from
victim
that
to
shit.
the bullshit.
Think about how wild this is. If I got a Lex, a GS, right? So it's like let's say when I got it, I would have got a 13 GS, right? Motherfuckers be like, what the fuck you get that old ass Lex for? But if I got a 72 Camaro, oh shit, you got the old school. Motherfuckers can't step out, so that's why I always just be like, do what you like.
Yeah.
Just do what you like and really don't even pay attention to that shit. But motherfuckers really can't because they don't have the structure.
Sheik Luch had a fucking brilliant rap line. He said, I wear what I want. Fuck what y'all think is cool.
It's the truth.
And I see,
And that's the mentality you gotta have.
Is it be men
Yeah.
judging men?
Because niggas are counting other niggas' pockets.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a big ass competition to see. Even niggas that got money, they still pocket watching and hating on other niggas because they feel like a nigga will look at the landscape and say, all right, this is my competition. They'll recognize the 8 or 10 niggas that they feel like on their level. They being honest and taking an honest assessment of themselves. But niggas be so insecure, they like you worried about what other niggas got going on instead of focusing on yourself. And that's why you're not as successful as you could be. Yeah. So even if you got 50 bands, 100 bands, 250, imagine if you wasn't a hoe and worried about what other niggas got going on, you might have 500.
Yeah. Women really only, like when women do the bag shit, they
it's
like,
all for other women.
When they put the bag on the table, and I saw the chick the other day, her and her girlfriend was eating. And she like did like the boomerang, and it showed like her girlfriend Chanel and her Chanel, and I'm like, where are the titties? Like, who care about this?
The biggest problem, right? And this comes from Patrice O'Neal and Dante Nero. The biggest problem between men and women is that women are selling shit that men ain't buying. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck about none of like I don't care. I don't care if a chick got a cheap outfit on, expensive outfit, none of that shit.
That rule never.
My man.
You know how I look at it? I think like as far as the bag go. They just showing you, in order for you to get me, this is what you got to get me.
Not really what they saying because
that's how I view it.
It's almost made. I'm in a relationship. You almost made me say something just now. Like that's not what they saying.
I keep it a buck.
That's how I what they saying.
I keep it a buck with you. I was fucking with a chick, her nigga in the NFL.
Yeah, like.
I had like $35 in my pocket. They don't give a fuck about that shit. They
I was 17 dealing with a 27-year-old.
Like at the end of the day,
we all was.
And she had to. It was like, yo, yeah, you live at your mom's house in his basement. Yeah, watch your step. Yeah, this last step. It's still happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Watch your step.
When I was 18, I was dealing with this chick that probably was like 25, and I went to school. She was married. I went to school with her husband. She knew I knew her fucking husband, who was probably like 4 years older than me. She's older than him, and she coming to get me from my mom's house in his car.
Yeah, like that's another thing. That's another thing I think men do. We put that on women.
Yes, we project
and it'll scare us.
Yeah, because we be trying
to shoot the bucket because we see the Chanel bag.
We be trying to talk ourselves. We be trying to talk ourselves out of shit.
Yeah. We just had this conversation on the last podcast, and I was saying how like men are like they'll feel inferior to just whatever the fuck they see on a woman, and the whole time it ain't even that. Like that's
right.
This ain't that, and that ain't this. That's just not what it is.
She can't even tell you how much.
Like at the end of the day, when women,
she didn't buy it.
Right. When women do this shit, it's like when they post all this shit, the bags, the glasses, the shoes. I saw a chick the other day. I went to Bottega Veneta and treated myself, and she had like 5 pair of sandals sitting there, and I'm like, I do not care about this. like no man is gonna see that and be like, yes, you fucking it up. Not any straight man. So it's like this shit is only for other women to be like, yes,
y'all bitches not on my level.
My sis is killing up. That's all the fuck it is.
That's it. Because
at the end of the day,
the girl throw a nice outfit on, and all of a sudden everybody hating on it.
Like I keep it being like I post my sneaks and shit. Like I'll post what did I just get the other day? I got the fuck came the other day. Oh, I got the Media Day LeBrons and shit. I didn't even post a picture of them. But it's like if I post a picture of them, it's gonna be my sneaker niggas like, yo, that's yo. I ain't even. Yeah, you
ain't no girl gonna be like,
you got them bronze. Like, it's just not real shit. Like, so it's like, yeah, it's like people really just gotten into the point where when they, especially when they go into that next level of shit, it's really only flexing for they peers, the people that they trying to just flex on. They not doing it for the opposite sex. So me personally, I don't look at women being to blame for like men carrying on the nonsense or vice versa, like women acting a fool for them. No, it's just motherfuckers really just gotten to the point where they do it. And I always say it's like there's certain shit, like don't get fucked up. I posted my food the other night. I went and had a fucking seafood. This shit was awesome. Some seafood dish shit the other night.
You should post
I've watched
two waffles and chicken.
I've watched
that you posted.
Well, I had chicken and waffles.
Yeah, remember you got all that hate.
Oh, the fucking sandwich. The KFC sandwich.
Oh,
so listen what happened. Shit. No, I didn't. Listen.
You had a double
It came by, my chick ordered from, I want to say Grubhub, and it came on some extra shit. And I said, in my head, I said, watch this. Shout out to Love. He said, you know this shit dirty. Look at the filter. But it's like, if that was what I wanted, it's like, yo, I couldn't even eat that shit, first of all. Yo, it's an actual donut. Like, that shit's sticky and all that. Donut, chicken donut. I'm like, I can't. I'm hungry as shit, but I can't. Like, yeah, like.
KFC.
I like KFC though, man.
No, man.
That shit came by
KFC
accident.
said they grilled chicken.
That double down was.
I know what you.
No, that was the
chicken
most
bacon.
savory
What was it? What was it?
They had a sandwich where they used chicken as the bread. I will never get over that. That shit was slavery and like personified.
I was so scared of that chicken. I was scared of shit of that sandwich.
And my
I always do like this when we talk about it.
So what was in the middle of the sandwich?
It was like bacon, cheese, and ham, but they used chickens as the bread. It was a sandwich. I mean, okay,
Yo, I was so scared. I was so scared of that sandwich, yo. I hold my chest when I hear people talk about that sandwich.
I drove past the KFC. I was doing 48. I drove past the KFC. It's on 29th and Dolphin, I think.
Yeah.
I looked over. I saw the big sign. That shit said double downs, 2 for $6. Damn, 4 chickens, 2 for $6. I'm like, dog, they was using chicken breast as the bread on the sandwich.
That was when I called it. That was
fucking double downs, dog. Real shit, man.
Shit.
Terrible times, yo.
I want to ask y'all, like,
Fucking double down.
yo.
Whoever green lighted.
Like, yo, hold on real quick before we move on. Right? You know there's a whole team, it's a round table like this of people. Like, all right, marketing, what you got?
We got
Chicken or chicken.
Private development, what you got?
Like even the person that even pitched it.
like, y'all say we got a bunch of extra chicken. I said we don't use the chicken as the meat. We use the chicken as the bread. They only can get rid of 2 pieces of chicken at one time. They like, yeah, that way the chicken will go bad. All right, yeah, let's do that shit.
What's our biggest commodity?
Dog,
Chicken.
Chicken, nigga. Dog, they was selling chicken
And they ain't never
sandwiches.
sold donut. I don't know how the donut got on the fucking sandwich.
Where they get the donuts?
Some of the shit you see from the fan, it's crazy because I don't eat much fast food no more, just because like the health shit I've been on last couple years. But I sit back and I be like, yo, how the fuck was I pulling that shit off day after like, because it's nuts.
So you did have that joke before?
Nah, the double down. I
Yeah,
never
that's
got
where I
one.
stopped at.
I saw it.
I seen it was scary.
Just the thought process
Yeah, that's
of it
what
is
I'm
like, that is, I can't do, like my thing is like, calling me a nigga is like, I can't like, I just can't do it. Like that's
Sandwich, like, what's up, nigga?
Yeah, like that's the joint you gotta like, can I take your order? Like, double down. Like,
One double down.
One double down. Like, yeah, like you cannot be loud about that joint. Like, give me the
Yo, I'm saying crying.
give me the-
Oh,
Oh
you
my
already
God.
know some people. Yo, what's the sandwich that got the chicken is the bread?
No.
Yeah, give me like 3 of them.
You don't want to say anything.
I stayed alive for that Popeye sandwich.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I did.
Listen, I went on.
I ain't gonna lie, I did too.
I went on
did.
tour
I
for the
said,
Popeye.
if
I
I
can
went
for
to
some
7
sneakers.
different locations with a Popeye chicken sandwich, trying to figure out if one location was better than the next, and they're all terrible.
I finally got my hands on a Popeye.
That shit is
I got that shit in
mediocre.
Maryland.
It's. I wouldn't stab nobody over.
Over it, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'd argue over it.
Hey man,
But you know what's crazy? I told myself, because I'm into sneakers too. If I can camp for some sneakers, what's camping for a sandwich? Like,
I wasn't ready for that.
I waited till they restocked.
That's a horrible. I wasn't ready for that. When he said I'm in the sneakers, I'm like, this shit ain't got nothing. This shit ain't-
yo, I had to tell myself, like, should I stand in this long ass line for an hour for a chicken sandwich? If I can camp
Niggas logic is
16
crazy
hours
as
for
shit.
some sneakers, I'm
Popeyes-
trying to get this
The
sandwich.
Popeye
I be in
chicken
the
sandwich
waiting
got
room
so
in the
crazy.
ER when I'm bleeding, so I can wait for it.
I had people texting me like, yeah, you know the John down bro and Snyder got a couple of sandwiches in. You
Bad.
go right down there, ain't no line.
Yo,
No, it's bad when you gotta call around. Excuse me, do you have chicken sandwich? No, fuck.
that the Popeye chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I stayed. And I was one of the ones that bought 12 at a time.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I bought some for my
What you
whole
do with
stay.
them? Oh, alright.
But
Like I buried
I was
Shit get tight out here.
listen, it was like an hour 15 minute wait, and it was cold, but it was the only cold hot day it was. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's just so hot.
When I finally did have chick came into my job.
I had that. I said, fuck, what's the limit?
She came in and she had her I'll never forget, she had a box of chicken. Like, and she had 2 bags from Popeyes. She's like, hey, any of y'all want to try the chicken sandwich from Popeyes? And I was like, what, do you have one? She's like, I got 6 of them. And I'm like, why do you have 6 of them? She was like, I just like figure I'd get them, bring them up here. And I'm just like, motherfuckers is acting like these shits is like free samples and stuff like that.
They paid $5 a sandwich.
What the
$30.
Like motherfuckers just walking around with chicken sandwiches. Oh, you want to try?
Yeah, I ain't get to that fucking sandwich till I was coming back.
But that shit show you the power in social media.
Yeah, like, definitely was social media.
The power in
and I'm like
marketing
on
from social media.
I'm not even on
crazy
it, but it was
shit.
like
people can create
honestly,
hysteria behind
what it was,
anything.
I think they claimed that shit when they kept saying out of stock. What you mean what was out of stock?
And that's
nobody, because niggas would say it was out of stock and they never tasted it. They're like, what is it?
Yeah.
It was out of stock for like 3 months. Nobody
No,
knew.
really, that's
That was
They used the sneaker model.
I was gonna say that's the Jordan brand model.
Yeah.
Like, get enough people hype about something and only put 5 of them out there. Now it drives the secondary market up. So when people see that, you like
Niggas was reselling chicken.
niggas was
for $30.
reselling them joints.
Yeah.
Talking about
Yeah.
for sale dead stock
Dead
Popeyes
stock
chicken.
Like that shit was crazy.
$30 the best offer. We'll deliver.
We gotta get off this sandwich. This shit was not on the docket. But that fucking donut sandwich, I got
Shit
destroyed
real,
on Twitter for that shit. Let me ask y'all this, right? Chad and Matt, what's y'all take on music right now as far as 2020? Name the artists that are like the now, and name an artist that's like on the way. Like the artist that's now. Like I'll oop y'all one. Lil Baby and Lil Durk. Like they're the now. You
Lil
get what I'm
Durk
saying?
is considered now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dirk really just kind of like finding his pocket.
He fell
like,
off
the
and
last
came
2
back?
years.
Not fell off. It was just like like trying to find his way.
Yeah, like Dirk
He might have
was,
been better than Chief Keef the whole time. I'm gonna say that.
Keith just was. It was just.
Keith was a
just
lightning
had it.
rod.
Yeah.
Keith was a lightning rod. He had
Yeah.
a different type of thing behind him, and he had that production. Like he had a partner. He had
And it's cool.
They pushed his image too. They
and he
pushed
had
that
Chop,
bad boy
you know what I'm
gangster
saying?
image.
And he had that shit was ringing off, and then they had it to where you had Kanye wanting to do shit, and 50 was involved. It was just like the hype machine built Keith up. Dirk shit was the same all along, and then it just exploded at one point. So yeah, I mean, as far as the now, is Lil Baby, Dirk, and YoungBoy. YoungBoy posted a picture the other day. They got like 45 plaques. Like I never
Already.
seen no shit like this before in my life.
Why you trying to go for his master so early?
Because he was
That's
in a
smart.
bad deal.
Oh, alright.
That's
He
smart.
was in a bad deal.
You
to
just
start
let
off
me
with.
think about it. NBA YoungBoy, that's exactly what you said,
Yeah.
YoungBoy. You know he had the shit with the girl, that's Floyd's daughter.
Yeah.
And if you remember the video, he was like, something to her bitch ass daddy. And somebody posted that shit the other day, was like, it was that video, like NBA YoungBoy, yo bitch ass daddy, and then it said T.I. And it was the nigga in like the auditorium like, yes sir! I said stop laughing off that shit. I was like, that shit just popped in my head when he said YoungBoy.
So yeah, like I'm not the biggest YoungBoy fan, but I understand the appeal now. I didn't get it before, but I've been to New Orleans now. I've been in the club. I've seen how the shit
I was
go up.
the image,
I was
right?
drunk on my birthday.
It's the image, but he just he's just a
charisma.
down south nigga. He's super charismatic.
Yeah.
I was
super
drunk. I
charismatic.
was drunk on my birthday, and that make no sense, though. I played that shit like 50 times.
Yeah.
I said, all right, I get it.
Yeah, they played that little top shit when I was in New Orleans like 7 times. I'm like, yo, I gotta stop throwing money.
So
like
that's
it's just a vibe. His shit is a
He
vibe.
actually
Like,
has a song that I love, the joint with Kevin Gates.
oh yeah,
Ashanti
fire.
So that's
I
so in your opinion, that's the now.
That's the 3.
And who's
Somebody that's on the rise.
42 Doug.
Yeah.
It's this Icewear Vezo for all. It's all
you hear
Detroit
about
rappers.
Detroit? I want to
It's
talk
all
about
Detroit rappers. 42 Doug, Icewear Vezo. It's this kid named GT from Detroit. That's fire. Who else do I like? Fujiano from Atlanta that signed to Gucci.
I like him
He's
in
fire.
You like Shiesty Poo too?
I like Shicey Poo too.
Yeah.
Fujiano was like a better version of the Baby to me.
Okay.
Like he got the same energy. He understand how to work the camera, all of that shit. But he just a better rapper and he make better records that stick around.
Yo, the look on your face, man, is like him right here. Y'all, yeah. I feel he was gonna say that.
He still listens
He
to the
stuck me
live.
on through because when I asked him, he gonna say beans and 50 and
Yeah.
shit. Like,
I was talking to my homie the other day. I meant to tell you on our joint, I got a new favorite rapper.
Another new favorite?
Yeah, Moneybagg Yo's still my new favorite rapper. But the Fabio Foreign.
Oh yeah, Fabio.
I finally listened to the.
Moneybagg.
I finally listened to the demo tape. Drake got a joint on there with that Fabio.
Yeah. I love Fabio.
I've never heard a nigga come on a Drake record and you shot your face. I've never heard that shit in my life.
And he's like, I'm in the court. I'm like, sorry,
I'm turn into a monster. I'm like, yo, this nigga's hilarious. So I Apple Music, Fabio Foreign.
Yeah.
The Big Drip record, I've heard it, but I never really paid attention to it or knew who it was.
It's phenomenal.
And I'm listening to it, I'm like, yo, this nigga's a psycho. I'm like, yo, this shit is great. And it's like, no bullshit, the whole week I've been like screaming that out and reciting shit from it. So the other day I'm in my break room and shit, and my dispatcher was like, yo, you got vacation next month, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, because I'm out now on work time shit. And he was like, damn, so I hope you don't mess up like your vacation plans. I'm like, I mean, you know. He was like, you had anything planned? I'm like, yeah, I'm going down to Miami. And he's like, who you go down there with? I'm like, couple bitches I get lit with. And my homie standing behind me fell the fuck out. Cause I'm like, I keep screaming this shit like all week. I'm like, yo, I never, but it's funny cause somebody said it to you the other day on Twitter. My other homie said it was like, yo, it take you like 3 years to get on to like new. Somebody was like, hearing Matt discover who Moneybagg Yo is the greatest shit ever.
Moneybagg Yo,
and Chad was like, yo, this nigga be in his own little bubble, like, and that's really how I be, like.
So Fabio.
Oh, Moneybagg Yo.
Is there anybody in the city like that's up and coming that y'all rock with?
Yeah, I wanted to ask
Quilly.
you. No.
Top carrier.
Quilly is the now, man.
New from the city. I don't fucking. There's too many of them little niggas.
I like you heard NR3, OT7 Kwani and all of them.
No.
Yeah, it's all 7th Street, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard.
I'm not even gonna ask y'all too. I'm not even.
No,
gonna
I'm listening to King Streets right now.
I was super big on D4M. The one young boy got killed. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I was big on D4M. I was in that. I'm out of that shit now, dog. Like I don't know.
How
heard of 31.
See, this is the thing. Then I'm 35, and I'm 35, but I'm really like 45. And me and my man Rob, we talk about it all the time. Me and Rob had like a whole conversation with this shit the other day. It was like, yo, at this point, I'm a casual rap fan.
Right.
So like, the demo tape came out months ago. Drake's one of my favorite artists. I just got to it in the last 2 weeks. To where it's like, oh damn,
Drake got a new album out?
I ain't get to it yet. I'm still stuck.
Because it really what made they released it. He's dropping his new album at the end of August. So I'm like, let me get into this demo tape shit. And excuse me, I'm listening to like, what's the joint with the Playboy Cardi on the demo tape? Can't think of the name.
Respect.
I'm listening to that, and I'm listening to Demons, and I'm just like the joint with Future and them, and I'm just
D4L,
like D4L. I'm like, oh no, this shit actually alright. Like I like these joints. I added D4L and I added the Fabio Foreign joint Demons to my playlist for the gym and shit. So it's like it take me a while to get the shit just because I'm not entrenched in this shit no more.
Name an artist that you got to first though.
What you mean?
Like I can name damn, what's the Young Boy Jelly. Remember I sent you the Young Boy Jelly?
You said get an artist you
like an artist you came across that you like, but the world isn't up on them yet.
Like in my life or now?
Now.
Oh, there are none. Because I don't listen to them. I'll tell you,
anybody in your past?
I'm about to say, this is the funniest shit on earth. Jules, Ra, fucking Stacks, Dot, they can all attest to this. I was the first nigga in my neighborhood playing Gucci. I had a Gucci Mane poster. This is how long ago this shit was.
So Icy or 1017?
This when he was doing. This was when he first did Black Tea, in response to the white tea shit from the JD niggas and shit. I was fucking with Gucci before So Icy dropped. And I was like, yo, this nigga's gonna be a star. And my man Rob was like, I'm telling you, dog, Gucci got it.
The staple.
And then, of course, Gucci blew. I was fucking with Gucci. Because what it was, my man Jules went down south for college. So he would go down south and just on the strip, talking to him, me, him, Giz, he was fucking with all these down south niggas, super heavy. And this is like, when Lil Flip was like tearing shit up and all of them type dudes. So it was like, you know, the South became like who the fuck y'all got? That's where the record labels went. Who y'all got down here? Give us anybody y'all got. Give us this. Paul Wall became a legend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anybody from down this motherfucker, we fucking with him heavy. So that's kind of where the whole Gucci Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Like it just came at the right time. And I was like, I like the nigga Gucci, man. And then he blew the fuck up, Lemonade, all that crazy shit. Right. But yeah, I was fucking with Gucci way.
Somebody else I forgot, Sada Baby.
He was with T.
He was with T Grizzly. Sada's fire and Lil Migo from Memphis. Nobody listened really on him yet.
I like that nigga too.
Oh, that T Grizzly.
This nigga T Grizzly.
Oh, T Grizzly.
I hold you. That joint he got with
T Grizzly arguably put out the album of the year the last 3 years, and nobody on the East Coast is talking about.
And his new one good too.
That's what I'm saying. 3 years in a row. The shit with
fucking what's the called Snap on
blood
that
shit
too.
with Dirt.
What's the joint with Meek on there?
He did a whole album with Timbaland, like, and nobody talked about the shit. And it's phenomenal. The Smartest album is fire. Like, and his records, he like a nigga from 2 generations ago. Like, he be having conceptual records that be about shit. They got a subject verb.
What's the joint with Dirt called?
I
listened to that shit on the
He had some shit. He was like, I don't fuck broke bitches no more, baby. I'm stuck up. And if your man wears ice around me, he gonna get stuck up. I like this nigga. He's just funny as shit.
Love T Grizzly, man.
Yeah, I like.
Is there an artist that like y'all kind of like caught the wave late? Like based like off like I'm saying that.
I mean, I always catch the wave. I just remember
I
like mine was like Nipsey. I'm mad I missed that.
Well, everybody missed that, and that's not nobody. Like we gotta stop playing ourselves in like reality. We have like this false. That's something we do in our like culture. We like go back and like what they call it, revisionist history. Where like motherfuckers will go back and be like, yeah, no, I fucked with Nip when he was born, and it's just like, you're lying. You know what I'm saying? You know how I know when Nipsey's Victory Lap debuted, it was like 9 on the, you know, like this shit didn't even debut at #1, and it's just like you gotta stop like lying to yourself.
I've been fucking with Nip. I just wasn't like, I had a party with Nip in Philly. He came to my party at Reserve. I had a party with Deshaun Jackson and Young Chris. He came to my party. It was like 2014.
And it's not okay.
One day we're gonna talk about the legend of Chris and Nick. We don't got
it's not a bad thing to just be like, yeah, man, I wasn't up on board before.
Yeah, I only listen to him because once he passed, everybody.
I was familiar, but I was a casual fan. I wasn't a fanatic. I got all his music in my fucking Apple Music. I had it in my iTunes. I always supported him. I'm familiar with him. I knew about the Proud to Pay campaign in 2014. All of that shit. But he was not my top nothing. And
I watch motherfuckers just, and you're allowed to change your opinion.
Exactly. When I presented with new information, you're allowed to change.
When Nipsey album came out, motherfuckers was panning it. Like, I don't fuck with this shit. This shit trash. He do too much of this or too much of that. And as he timing on and he died, motherfuckers like, man, we slept Victory Lap. That joint great. And it's just like, it's okay to just be like, yo, I wasn't up on that. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
and a lot of times you gotta retrain your ear to hear a new sound.
Like the white boy
sound was so different.
He reminded me of Hove, a younger version of Hove, just not as lyrical.
Absolutely.
Batman. What's his name? They played Joker. Heath Ledger. He got the posthumous Oscar for the performance. It's okay to just give motherfuckers their props. Like, yo, you passed away, but you know we fucking with that.
Fucking with SoundCloud, I be coming across. Like I heard Nav first. I heard Nav on SoundCloud.
Nav produced back to back.
Yeah.
I don't know who Nav is.
From Toronto, he signed to the Weeknd.
Oh yeah, I have heard that.
I never gave him a try.
Yeah, he produced back to back. Now, the way he produced it and what 40 and the other producer, Boy Wonder, did to it, it ain't the same beat. But he set the initial concept of what started his back to back was his beat, and he's a credited producer on that shit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, music at this point.
Bobby Fishkill. I'm saying it now. No, I'm telling y'all. He got like it's like Kodak, but he talking that talk. I shouldn't have been listening to it, but it's hot.
You know who I was
he was
on
talking
early?
about eating Brillo and shit. I know what he talking about.
Griselda early.
Griselda.
I was
I say it all the time. Music is subjective.
Yeah.
So where you at in life, what you got going on, who you around, all of that shit matters.
No, if that's the case, I'm listening to all the wrong shit.
No, I'm just.
Who's y'all listen to now?
Like I had a chick get in my car and she was like, "Yeah, you got King Von," and I text my homie. I'll be there shortly. I don't know what the fuck King Von is. And I typed it on Google and I just seen the nigga had a Draco and was standing there like this. I'm just like, yeah, this ain't the shit I'm listening to. And it's just like music is. you know, you like what you like. Like
So for you, like who you like? We know he still listens to Get Rich or Die Trying.
And beans.
Yeah.
on my way over here, I was listening to Trey Songz, but I was girl sent me
Which
this.
one?
I don't know what the album is, but she sent me a specific song. I was
Alright.
listening to the shit. But when what was I listening to last night in the car? Fuck, what was I listening to last night? I was listening to Life After Death last night.
The last week I've been listening to Blue Bucks Clan from South Central. They fire. I got onto them because of Filthy Rich from Oakland.
Mhm.
Filthy Rich is my favorite rapper. Period. Like across everybody. Cause
It's 250. It's one from.
yeah, that nigga's probably doing life right now for all we know. The Filthy Rich that matters. is from Oakland. And that nigga is super successful. He's independent artist from Oakland. He live in Vegas. He got records with everybody. Gucci Mane, Cash Money wanted to sign him. Rock Nation trying to sign him right now. This nigga got 100 albums in his catalog. 100 independent albums that he owned 83% of. And from him, I got onto Blue Bucks Clan, GT, a lot of the other niggas. Like he got records with everybody in the industry. He got one of the first features from 42 Doug. Like it's crazy. Like how early he be on shit. So that's all I've been listening to is Filthy Rich, Blue Bucks Clan, and GT. From
Yeah, I
Detroit.
was listening to Bobby Fitzgerald. I was on the way
What's
to
that?
work.
R&B or that's like
No,
rap?
he talking.
Are y'all familiar with Stove God Cooks
Yeah, yeah,
from New York?
yeah.
I'm not hip to a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Y'all two motherfuckers, dog. Sick of y'all two motherfuckers.
I mean,
I thought he said stove top. Nigga, I was like, nigga, what the fuck was going on?
I'm just.
I mean, him and you know West Side Gun from Griselda, right?
Griselda.
Stove God just basically kind of played like the Ghostface role on West Side's latest album. Like he
Fly
did the
Guy's
whole
awesome
features.
guy, too.
Yeah, he all
And they just
over
signed
that joint.
Boldy James too.
Did they?
Yep.
Boldy James is fire
That's
from
crazy.
Detroit.
Y'all got time.
Yo, all the names
Tune
I'm
in.
throwing out, I had no clue.
There's so many artists out here. So I don't fault you.
I
This
thought
is-
West Side Gun was El Camino when I first heard it. I thought he just changed his name. Like he
Yeah,
rap slower.
he raps slow.
If y'all got time, he from New York. His name King Streets.
Give us another one.
King Streets.
No, that shit is crazy.
I mean, I don't bounce around. I don't bounce around like that.
That violent music.
I know what I want.
I'm kind of off of that now.
I like what I've been listening to.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I do
last
listen to
album.
mine. I got my moments.
Yeah, I've been listening to 444. It's actually a CD in my car. My Bluetooth got disconnected. And I just
The nigga came
went
up to
straight
me
to
at the
the-
gas station.
Niggas still in Manhattan selling CDs.
Listen, I was at the Sunoco at Old York and Broad Street. Don't go to that Sunoco.
Oh,
That shit is
I went
negativity
there-
headquarters.
I went there one day, and if you can get past,
oh, that's the one there, Deuce.
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
if you can get past all the children begging to pump gas, you know what I'm saying? You go into the
The
fucking
niggas
store,
with the big ass Nicks and Reggie.
right? And you come out, the nigga was like, "Yo, fam, I'm selling my CD. Da da da. Can you give me a play? Da da da." And I'm just like, "All right." I can see him holding a pistol on the cover. I'm like,
I'm gonna get this nigga $5.
yeah, I'm like, how much is that shit? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I'm selling them for 10. I'm like, $10, nigga. You're not no limit.
You're not no limit.
And
Like,
he,
but I might be.
he was like, give me 5, man. I was like, all right. I gave him the $5, and he gave me the CD, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna play this shit. But I just helped him $5 here.
Yeah, I mean,
mind you, I get in my car, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I have a newer. I didn't even know I had a CD player because I've never put. I'm like, when I got in the car, I'm like, I don't even have a fucking CD player. Like, what the fuck am I about? Why did I buy this dumbass shit? But then I see the eject button, and I'm like, oh shit, I do got a CD player in this. I never used it. I never even once. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck. I'm sitting
Get this
there.
nigga a play.
I swear to God, I put the shit in. The shit came on. The first line was like, "When I cocked the 4 pound," I'm like, it's like I'm not doing this shit. I took it out and I never. It's still
So
sitting on the door of my car.
Let me ask y'all. What's y'all take on everything individually since the death of George Floyd and the momentum that's been somewhat made since?
Like anything. Oh, did you want to know?
It don't matter. You do these things.
Like anything, any situation like this is gonna bring out the good, the bad, the absolutely terrible. You got motherfuckers out here selling shirts. You know what I'm saying? With his face on it.
Niggas is selling George Floyd OG, bro.
Yeah, I've seen George Floyd weed.
They turned George Floyd into a pack. And at that point, I was like, I
Going too
ejected.
far?
Yeah, I've ejected from the movement.
it's
whatever it may be, whatever the movement is now.
But I mean, that's I think that's where it's wrong. Like we letting people that don't have nothing to do with the movement discourage you from the movement.
This is
That's
where
what I had to actually talk to
This is where
with my bosses, and it was after the meeting and they start getting crazy, and I'm like, let people talk, but I stopped. Like, what y'all saying got nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, like like the CEO of the
Switching
company
agendas,
saying
pushing
he was
different
going
narratives.
ahead and he was about to donate this money, but I'm like, again, like what you said, he said exactly the same what you did. Once I seen that, I pulled my check back. What you seen got nothing to do with what's going on.
Yeah.
I just
Well, here's
think
the
that's
thing, and
totally,
this is
you know,
where I was about to go with it. It's like the good, the bad, and the terrible. So whenever situations happen like this, you have these like professional protest groups that start showing up, like Antifa and all of that shit. And I really, I'll be
So
honest with you.
That's not a new word.
What?
Antifa, they've been around.
They've been around.
I never heard of them. I never heard of
been
them
around.
until just
But
like
it's just an
George
organization.
Floyd.
But my thing is like, if you not putting it on you, but not even you, I don't even put it. This imaginary black guy over here gets
That's
killed
right there.
by the cops, right?
Oh, no,
And
I'm
that's
gonna get killed.
tragic. He gets killed by the cops, and all five of us decide, yeah, man, something need to be done because that shit was unjust. He didn't have no weapon. There was no reason for them to shoot him. And then Taylor and him show up with ski masks on and start bashing out all the windows. I'm be like, what the fuck, man? And that's kind of where the shit be like getting to where it's like these professional groups come in and they just completely twist. It's almost like the Kaepernick niche situation. Like how they just spun it into like a diss to the military. And he like,
Thank you.
nigga, the military told me to take the knee.
Thank you.
And that's kind of where the shit got for me to where I'm just like he said, I kind of just gotta like, y'all got it. Y'all, we protesting in 50 states, 38 countries. It's a Black Lives Matter boulevard in every goddamn city now. But my thing is, at the end of all of that, where does the change come? Where do things stop? Where do things become different? Not even just from that side of things, but just from the overall whole
laws and
regulations.
Ain't none of that shit moved yet.
None of
And
it.
that's where
it ain't going.
Oh, not to cut y'all off, but did y'all see the last something happened with Mike Brown? They finally said the guy ain't gonna
no charges.
No charges.
right. But you heard what the lady said? Like he was upset saying, "Really?" She was like, "Well, change the law." Like so arrogant. Like that got the crazy part about it. That guy came in. Like it got overshadowed because he was so angry and kept going. But y'all didn't even hear what she said.
Yeah.
Like she said that with confidence. Well, change the law.
I mean,
And that's what I go back to.
And she's
Was it?
absolutely true.
it sounds
how
fucked
can you
up,
change
but,
the law?
but that's where the thing is like y'all in the streets going crazy, and I get it. Why? Watch riots, 92 riots, LA and shit. Like I understand that side of things, but at the same time, there needs to be a inside change before there's an outside change. And if you're not gonna change it, it's like painting over, bad fucking
Like see,
not
like
graffiti, but
drywall.
Drywall.
Yeah.
Like if you're not
Yeah,
going
the drywall's still bad.
like if you know what I'm saying?
You're
It's
not
like,
addressing the real issue.
like you ever watch Pimp My Ride back in the day? They put a goddamn fish tank in the fucking car.
the carburetor.
Transmission about to blow in 2 weeks. It's just like
Yeah, we ain't doing no mechanical repairs.
they don't open the hood at all when you come pick your car up. Like, real shit, same funky ass engine been in there. It's like, yo, it's kind of what it is. So it's like, yeah, if we not gonna have a drastic change from the inside out, the outside is gonna be the outside, and it's just gonna continue. Like if you realistically, the cops, think about how crazy this is. People are coming to the protest to protest police brutality and getting beat up. And that's not irony like a motherfucker. Like think about the cops sucker punching you at the protest for police brutality.
The deputy commissioner of the city of Philadelphia was forced to fall on the sword and step down and take a demotion on national television because of how he deployed his officers during the fucking protest. They beat the shit out of the protesters in a peaceful protest on 676.
Oh.
My young boy, that's like my little brother, got the shit kicked out of him at Broad and Albany during a peaceful protest.
We was watching that shit in my
These police
depot.
are not equipped to handle this shit.
We was watching
and they're not
it in
even
my-
doing. People not even doing
We
shit,
was
and they
watching
still
it
not equipped
live
to
at
handle
my
it.
depot. My man, shout out fucking Reggie, man. He's silly as shit. The cop was swinging the baton around like he was blind. Like he just was swinging at whatever, and he hit boy clean in the back of the head. I remember he was like, he done bust his kiwi all over my live television. I'm like, dog, like they was out there bugging on 676.
What's it take?
So I got a lot to say. That kind of like bear with me. So basically, the whole thing is that like any movement, it started off like it was so much fervor, and shit was getting burnt the fuck down, and people was kicking ass and taking names, and the people was mobilizing and protesting and this. And then slowly but surely, as we got deeper into the summer, all of that shit went away. And the people that really care, the real original Black Lives Matter people, and the people like Miss Kim and my son and this and the people that was already doing the work without the CNN cameras there, they're still doing the work. The casual, everyday protester is not doing shit. And people literally took their foot off the gas once they start giving Black Lives Matter away, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna think about doing this shit. Like, people just was like, oh, see, protests, rioting, taking effect, and it's like they didn't change nothing. At the end of the day, if a police officer killed me or any of y'all tomorrow, they're gonna get investigated by the same internal affairs department that gets paid by the same fucking city that's in the same office. They down the hall. Do you expect them to take an impartial view of whatever the fuck happened, as opposed to really looking at it like, this motherfucker probably killed this guy and we need to figure out why? They looking at it from like, what did you do to get yourself killed is the first thing that they're thinking about, opposed to, did the officer act improperly? So until they systemically change the fact that internal affairs needs to be a separate organization outside of the fucking police departments all over the country, that they need to make policy change, that they need to change laws, that they need to make it where if a police officer kill anybody anywhere for any reason, the feds automatically come in and investigate the shit. Until they have it to where everything is independent and separate from one another, the shit is going to continue to keep happening, and we're going to keep protesting and keep marching and keep trying to riot and burn shit down, and nothing real is getting accomplished. They've done everything except what we've asked them to do.
Like, it's wild because the cops really are in like just a peculiar situation because they have guns. That shit in itself is nuts. Yeah. Like, I can realistically just be like, I fear for my life, that's why I popped him. And they'd be like, we feel you. You know what I'm saying? And me, I drive a bus. Literally. If you get on a bus on some shit and attack me, and I fight you back, and I like start whipping your ass, they gonna fire me for becoming the aggressor. And this shit is nuts.
Instead of de-escalating.
Like, even if you get on the bus and start talking crazy and I just pop you in the fucking nose, they gonna bang me for there was no reason for you to, like, basically I have to get attacked and defend myself, but defend myself to a specific standard of trying to maintain professionalism. And I always question that shit because cops can kill people. Mm-hmm. Like, they can just smoke you with no gun in your hand, no date. Just the thought. Like, think about how crazy that is. Just the thought.
That shit fucked me up.
Just the thought.
I knew that.
And I say that all the time. Like, could you imagine if they gave us that leeway as bus drivers? Like, I thought that nigga was about to draw, so you know, had to go ahead and do it.
Even on a lower level, if they gave y'all batons or something, and it's just like, yeah, the nigga was drawing, I bust him upside.
I told them, I was like, if they gave us guns in the same like joint that they gave cops, niggas being there, how many kills you got this month? Like, that's how the fuck it would be.
Because every day you're faced with 10 motherfuckers that possibly should be shot.
I never understood that shit when it comes to cops. It's like, why is it that you have a mace, cuffs, baton, taser, gun, shotgun in the trunk, you got a fucking bulletproof vest on, a helmet, you got a backup, you got a fucking partner, you got all this shit, but be like, keep your fucking hands where I can see them. Bow. Like, I do not understand that logic behind. It's nuts when you really think about it. And that I always just be on the tip, like, it's policies and inside shit that has to change.
You have people
before you have outs. Did you see this shit? Not to cut you off. Yeah. The other day in Arizona, they pulled a family. It was a black woman with 4 kids.
Mm-hmm. That was horrible.
It was Colorado.
Excuse me. They pulled them. You right?
Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, where the whole shooting shit happened. They pulled them out the van.
They cuffed a 6-year-old.
And then
they
thought it was illegal.
Listen.
Yeah, it is.
The craziest part about it is
about to say what I'm about to
they were looking for a motorcycle. And
they pulled off a minivan. You looking for a motorcycle. You're looking for a motorcycle and you pull over a minivan.
You know, motorcycle plates don't be the same. Like, it's different letters and formations and numbers and shit. Like, it's not even the
Completely
3-digit.
different,
It's
yeah.
just a whole different fucking system of plates. So y'all are looking for a motorcycle.
I knew it was a different car. I didn't know it was a
Yo,
different
It was a
fucking-
fuck. It was
vehicle.
A,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
They pull over the van, they yank the mom out, yank the 4 kids out. 17, 16, 13, and 6, I believe. Cuffed all of them. Made them lay on the ground. Cuffed
Covered
them.
criminal was a
Cuffs even work
6-year-old.
on a- How you? How the,
But the crazy part about it is, right, to me, not to cut you off, the worst part is that happened over a month ago. It just came out.
And that's where I was about to go next.
It just
I was
came
like,
out, and the police didn't say nothing. They going at it, lawyers, and they ain't say nothing. They swept it under the rug. Soon as the video
come out, there was a
automatically.
I literally was about to go there. I'm like, the video drops, and the police chief is doing a press conference. This is despicable. It made me sick to my stomach.
this happened a
Bitch,
week
you
ago.
had to see this.
I know it
There's
happened.
no way you just saw
You gotta
this.
write that in the report.
You're the
You gotta write a
police
report.
chief. Yes, no way you didn't see this.
And that's a civil rights violation lawsuit. That's gonna be a multi-million-dollar settlement for this family.
I don't know if
On a
any
On a
6-year-old.
6-year-old.
I don't
On
know.
any minor.
We talked about comedians, and I always say, like, who you like as a comedian says a lot about you. And like, I always fucked with Patrice O'Neal, Paul Mooney, Dave Chappelle, you know, Chris Rock and shit. One of my new favorite comedians is Michael Che off of Saturday Night Live. I don't know if y'all gotten into him, but his new stand-up, he has a joint where he's talking about civil rights and just all of the racial, you know, and inadequacies that are our life and shit. And he was basically on it, was like, think about the movements that go on out here in the world, right? So when you got somebody like, look at the gays, right? The gays, lesbians, all of that, the LGBTQ, they're fighting for equality. Not, we want to be better than you.
Yeah, not
We just
supremacy.
want equality. So when you're fighting for like equality, the fact that you're fighting for it means it's someone opposing that.
Yeah.
So you're literally like, yeah, we just want to be treated equal and have everything be fair. It's somebody like, nah, fam, like, I ain't with that. Like, I'm cool. So he was like, black folks, think about civil rights. Like, we've been on that for years. The civil rights movement was in the 60s. So you got black people fighting for civil rights. He's like, not majestic rights, not superior rights, just civil. He's like, you know what civil means? Like, just turn the fucking hose off and let's be civil
Yeah,
about
put the gun
it.
away.
wait.
And but that's really where we've been at for so long. It's like, me personally, it's just never gonna be right. It sounds fucked up.
We'll never be right
arguing.
because we'll never be. Honestly, it's fucked up. With this, is my opinion too. I think if we never like on the same level or close to financially, it'll never be.
I
there.
saw it
Because-
was a summit that they did, and
Yeah.
Paul Mooney was on there, and they had like a bunch of motherfuckers on the panel talking, and the one white lady asked me, was like, "What do you think we have to do to end racism?" And Paul Mooney was like, "End it? Like, end it completely?" And she was like, "Yes." He was like, "Kill every white person on earth." And she was like, "Oh, Paul." He was like, "You said end it. It's the only way."
I'm there. I forgot what state it was. It was a white man holding the Black Lives Matter sign.
Oh yeah,
Alabama.
yeah, Alabama.
Alabama. I forget the city though.
It's like the most racist city in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Arkansas. Something.
Well,
like
he'll
It
get-
was either
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
I think it's Arkansas.
Harrison, Arkansas.
Harrison, some shit, Arkansas. Yeah.
That shit. This is what I was trying to tell E. Shout out to E. That format. It take energy to hate something. Like it take energy for T to go outside and hate a black person and he never had an altercation.
It's not
or-
energy.
I don't even
It's something
think it's.
that's in
I don't
you.
think it's
the
energy.
culture.
It's just it's in you.
It's
It's
the
like,
culture.
That's a 6 mark.
It's the,
It's like my family is country. They
Yeah.
country ass niggas. They eat pig feet, and
Yeah.
I never ate that shit, bro. So when I see pig feet, it's like, man, what the fuck? But my uncles be like, no, give me that one. I was just like, no,
that's a good foot right
Yeah,
there.
that's a good foot right there. Like, they country as shit. So it's just like, if something's in you, it's just in you. If you raised that
becomes
way, if you
natural.
taught that way, it's
I don't
just.
think.
But a lot of people
We
don't
talked about it
know-
earlier with the parenting shit. So if something is just told to you every day or put in front of you every day, you own, like, think about your mom's cooking. Your mom's cooking is the best cooking you know because it's your mom's cooking. It's the shit you eat every day. It's just the way it go. So if something's placed in front of you and put on you every single day, they had a SVU episode. It was like one of the best. I don't know if you're in the SVU, but it's like the best SVU ever. Terrence Howard was on it, and his aunt got gang raped by 3 white guys back in the day, like during the whole civil rights movement. And, you know, time went on, she's older now. Her son went and raped one of the only white guy that was still alive. He went and raped her daughter, like as payback. And it was this whole, it's like the best SVU episode ever. But Terrence Howard was the guest star as like the lawyer for the cousin and for the aunt. And like the whole story came out why he went and raped the white girl, like as a retaliation for her father raping his mother. It was wild as shit. And it's just like, yeah, you look at these stories, these situations, and it'd be like, this shit been going on for like forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, and she literally said on the show, you trained me to hate. Because the girl was like racist, the white girl was like super racist, and she told the dad, like she broke down there, like, you trained me to hate for no reason. Like you got me hating folk, because the pop even through it all was like, oh fuck them, man, like, you know, on that, like that whole racist type shit. And she was just like, told Terrence Howard, like she apologized to him, the son and the mother, like, I don't know any different. I was raised this way, but I know I can be better. And it's just like, yeah, if something's on you every single day and in your household, like you ever go to somebody's house and like, I remember going to like it's funny because I told on the joint I went to Pepper, which was in like, you had to go through Larchwood projects and shit. And I'm from Penrose, which is like a nice neighborhood. So me going to Pepper, you know, I'm a popular motherfucker, so I made friends. And like, I started making like project friends. And I remember like my first couple times going in like the projects and going into the houses, it was like,
High rise.
where are your chairs? Where are your seats? like, and motherfuckers is just on the floor chilling, watching.
Y'all got couch cushions in
I'm like, this shit is normal, y'all.
All the couches in the back. All the couches in the
bean
back.
bags in this joint.
We coming in the house. Hold on, let me ask my mom if you can come in. Your mom here? Why she gotta work? Like this shit is just normal to motherfuckers. So it's like, yeah, if something's your everyday norm, nothing you can do about it almost. It's just your everyday norm.
What else I wanted to, we can skip that. I don't give a fuck about
Black really got questions. This is decent.
fuck Jonathan Isaac. I don't even care. He going on the list.
That's another Terry Crews?
Yeah.
You gotta ignore them, man.
Yeah.
Let's speak
like-
on that.
I just want to say the irony in it is crazy.
It's through the roof.
It's
The fact,
crazy.
did you notice that the knee, how padded the knee was, like he wasn't supposed to be out there in the first place?
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, if you look at the knee, it's already like, you know how Stone Cold Steve Austin used to have that shit on his knee?
Yeah.
He had like one of them, but it was like white. So if you look at the video, it looked like he wasn't supposed to be out there at the beginning. Let me ask y'all, let's start with y'all, the pros and cons of the NBA restart.
The pros is the money is going to get flowing. You know, that's definitely the number one pro for all of them. Like, people don't realize this, and I know this because, shout out Jay Cousins, that's the Marcus brother. We fuck with him on some sneaker shit. It's just like, people don't realize, like, they think because you're in the NBA or the NFL or whatever the fuck professional sport you're doing, like even rappers, musicians, all this shit, motherfuckers is trying to get paid. It's like,
People hear these big numbers for contracts and shit and think that you got all that money in one shot. Not realizing niggas get paid every week or every other week just like regular work.
I think it's like a
says
game check, right?
Yeah. Chad says it on our podcast a lot. It only takes 2 weeks to adapt to your new pay.
That's fair.
So if you go from zero pay to a little bit of pay to a lot of pay, whatever the fuck it is, it take 2 weeks to adapt to
You
this
fucking
shit.
better bitches, you tricking more, you going to better restaurants, you living in a better condo, you driving better
So
shit. You gotta put
That's how I
93
explained to my
premium in
homie
your
while all of
car.
them keep complaining about the bubble because
So-
it's not what they used to.
So you look at it like this, right? So let's just take somebody in my position where it's like, let's say you make 10 grand a month, right?
Mhm.
You live a 10 grand a month lifestyle.
For sure.
Your rent is 15, your car note is 6, you know what I'm saying? Your insurance is, your bills is another
Travel, entertainment, two bands.
Your shit is another 600-700 for like everything, and then you eat. You might go out twice a week, might go here, might go there. You have a specific lifestyle. You give your lady some money to go do her little 1-2. You buy yourself something.
Buy
You
your
have
side bitch something.
little $34. You
Like
have
men don't cheat.
you have a structure for your life. People think that if you hold off and make, like an NBA motherfucker might make $200,000 a month. That's light, but that's just a basic contract.
Damn, that's light.
Yeah, because the basic contract thing,
It's like $2 million is like the
the
league
minimum.
now.
The league minimum is like 1.8, some shit like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, let's say $200,000 a month. It's like if you make $200,000 a month, your rent not $1,500.
You're at 15,000.
Your car note not $600. You know, and then on top of that, you got your mama place, you got your sister place, you got you and your chick place, your side chick. Depending on how many of them you have a real live structure the same way. So the same way you need to get paid every Friday or every other Friday, NBA players, musicians who tour, everything. Why you think a rapper who's holding up this much money on his fucking shoulder, when he lose, he's supposed to get 80 grand from the fucking concert promoter, and the concert promoter give him 20? They be right in court. I need that 60. You know what I'm saying?
You better fund it.
They don't just be like, I'm on the Forbes list, don't worry about it. Like, no, it don't work like that. So it's like, motherfuckers need to get paid. Like, it's a lot of NBA players, because Jay would always say that shit. It's a lot more motherfuckers than you think are living check to check in the NBA.
It was roughly, they said, $880 million in remaining salary that needed to be paid out. Out of the whole entire NBA, only 9 players had collected all of their money as of the NBA shutdown. And guess who 7 of them was rep by? Rich Paul.
Yeah, Rich Paul.
The rest of these motherfuckers was waiting for their money. They had 80%, they had 100%, 80% contracts. It's like they got 100% of their money by 80% of the games. Everybody else was still waiting on checks. You had $880 million in remaining salary that needed to be paid out to all these different players. So
yeah, you don't leave no money on the table.
You don't leave no money on the table.
Like you said,
and it was local TV money that was approaching billions for every individual market that had to be collected if they didn't reach 70 some odd games or whatever. They wasn't gonna get
I don't think motherfuckers realize just how much revenue comes from this shit. Like, not even just with
that's why I
the
say
actual
NFL, not
the actual sport. Like in your local area, motherfuckers is like I forgot the motherfucking name. He played for the Panthers, but he had like a local deal with like a car dealership there in Charlotte, and where he was doing commercials for like the car dealership, and they gave him 2 Hellcats. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'll take that. Like, as a motherfucker in the league.
Yeah,
like,
because that's a net $3,000 a month that you ain't got to pay them.
Right.
Because
they straight gave him 2 Hellcats. Come do these commercials for the dealership. All right. But it's like you not getting seen every Sunday and not getting no sacks and not getting no tackles. It's like it kind of just
run them cats back.
We got the hell kitten. We drop you off the 3.6. Yeah. Like, real shit. So it's like, it's a lot of shit that gets generated through them being seen, you know. Like, I don't know if you ever paid attention to it, but you ever see football players in commercials? Yeah. Like Tostitos and whatever the fuck, they always got their jerseys on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Without it, we don't know who
you might not know who the fuck Von Miller is, or who LaDainian Tomlinson is, or whatever. But you see basketball players, they're in every fucking thing. And that's where it's like, the money that gets generated just all across the board. Like, you have to have the product. And like, Drake can probably go on tour, just on tour for the rest of his life. You understand what I'm saying? But like, Meek needs another album before he goes on tour. You can't just be like, I'm going on tour with no new work. And that's really where it is for like sports. Like, you need the product. You need the basketball. You need the football. You need the
baseball going to play?
I don't think so.
I don't see how.
But we'll see what happens.
Because the stakes are even more higher for them because they only got 16 games. And you got stadiums that normally would have 100,000 people in them, 80,000 people.
Whatever sport.
No, I mean, I don't think it'd be spectators though. I think it would just be the staff.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, all right, the NBA shit, right? They are in stadiums as opposed in arenas instead of stadiums.
Right.
You can cut the lights. They put the little fake fan vision shit in there and all of that. Yeah. They can pump noise in. You can't do that in this fucking stadium that's open.
Like, they gonna have to.
It is what the fuck it is.
They gonna almost have to play like arena football. That's what it's gonna have to like be.
That's why I just said, whatever sport could do what the NBA is doing right now.
The only one is football and hockey, maybe. Baseball can't do it.
Baseball
shutting down every other game.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying, like, as far as like if they continue to go, like, last week,
they're fucked.
Last week, the Yankees and the Phillies was supposed to play, but they had to postpone it because like 14 motherfuckers got sick.
Because they didn't quarantine. They're not quarantining nobody. And there's no bubble.
The bubble.
Yeah.
No, they can't leave out.
You want to hear some funny shit? I drive a 48, so I was coming up Arch Street. You know, the new Four Seasons is on Arch. Yeah. So the Yankees was staying at the Four Seasons. So the motherfuckers bought the Yankees buses. Yeah. Like, they got some big, nice ass fucking tour buses, but they was driving up on this, like, to park at the Four Seasons and shit. And the niggas were just super getting on my fucking nerves on the 48. And the motherfucker pulled up on the side of me. He had the Yankee shit on the door, whatever. I opened the window. I feel like he opened the door. I'm like, how I get the fuck over there, man? What I gotta do to put that over there? He was saying a company he would coach on something, but he was like, it's like a high, you gotta be there for years, and they have like contracts for certain. So he was like, they got like 20 motherfuckers that work with him, and like 4 of them is dedicated to Yankees, 4 is dedicated to Boston. I'm like, that's lit like shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what's yours, Chad? Your pros and cons?
I mean,
got some too.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even get
what's
to
your
the
con? What's your
I said
cons?
the pros is the money, but the cons is you take away from the fan experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me and Jules, we had this thing. We love sitting courtside. We, and it's like we wanted to go to LA next year, but it's just like it's like damn, like that shit just shuts down all of that. Like all of so it's like you got people who work in concessions, security, all that like type shit is just different now, and it's really going to be like the norm. This is just going to be our new norm.
Yeah.
I read an article today. It was like coronavirus isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like,
in the beginning of all of this shit, I told Matt and Rod in the beginning of this shit, I talked to a close homie of mine. He got a security company that do events internationally. They did Drake Tour. They do Made in America when Jay-Z and Beyonce come here. Like, they personal escorts and all that shit. He was on a call with Live Nation back in March. They was like, yeah, we're probably not doing no events over like 1,000 people for 10 years. Damn. Like, they already were... This is before we had 4.5 million cases. This was in early April. Like, they like, it's chalk. It's over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, there's no way to, like, recover certain aspects of, like, revenues and shit like that. So it's gonna be interesting how it goes. As far as like the NBA shit, the biggest thing is the biggest con is you take away from the fan experience. Like there's no fans, there's no pressure. You got niggas out there that are garbage that are playing like Michael Jordan right now.
I love that though.
They don't have nothing. There's nobody.
TJ Warren.
TJ fucking Warren.
I'm watching it. I'm a Laker fan. He got more points than the Lakers in the first quarter. Lakers got 17. He got 20 in the first quarter.
This shit is
Why the fuck
crazy.
TJ Warren got a dub in the first quarter, man? Like
The Suns fronted on TJ Warren.
They traded him for like a bag of money.
Yeah, cash.
Bubble, man.
I fucks with Devin Booker though. That's like one of my favorite players.
Booker.
Like I love Booker.
I love the fact that
And he owns Kawhi and Paul George, by the way.
low-key.
Owns them niggas.
I like the fact that we get a lot of unsung heroes. I like the fact that we might see a upset in the playoffs. I don't know if
You definitely gonna see it.
I don't know if it would be a 1-8 or a 2-7, but we will see an upset.
I think they just doing 1 through 16.
I like that.
Something like that.
We don't have to watch the teams who aren't playing for a playoff position. I think they should hold on to that.
Oh yeah, like after a certain amount of games, you just get rid of them. Get the fuck out there.
Yeah, I like the fact that the Knicks ain't in the motherfucking bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whoever. I like the fact that bottom, y'all can roll. You know what
My
I'm saying?
biggest thing that I enjoy about it is you get finality to a season that is like it creates hope for other leagues that if you go about it the right way, y'all can get through y'all season also. Because the NBA had everything against them because
it's gonna
Rudy
be this when
Gobert
we
got
come
treated
back.
like an outbreak monkey. Like it was straight like, oh wait a minute, like
And I ain't feel that either.
they straight shut the whole cookie operation down. They went from asking players the game before, hey, are you concerned about coronavirus and blah blah? LeBron's like, no, it should be okay. The next night,
I woke up to
this
that
nigga
shit.
got coronavirus. It was a shut the whole cookie operation
That was
down.
Vince last. Remember, that was Vince. That's how Vince's
I was
career ended.
I was in the gym and I remember I looked up at the fucking TV and it was like NBA season is postponed indefinitely and I was like the Thunder niggas took the floor.
They took the
The
floor.
Thunder and the Jets
Yeah,
were
remember.
going on the floor and I was like wait what and literally I looked around the gym and everybody in the gym was just like froze where they was at looking at the multiple TVs like what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
It was like yeah that shit was over.
That was
For the
really-
NBA to be able to come back from that, organize, come up with a plan, figure something out that was fair for the owners, for the players, a territory, all of that shit, and execute. Because me and Matt was like, they're not gonna play a game.
Everybody loves David Stern because the Jordan
Adam Silver's
time
the
and all
GOAT,
of that
yeah.
shit. Adam Silver's the GOAT. He might be the best commissioner of
In all
professional
of sports.
sports I've ever seen. Like Tagliabue, all them, Buck Selig, all them motherfuckers. Like what Adam Silver has dealt with as far as just everything, the coronavirus, Kobe, all the nonsense just over the
He handles
last
everything masterfully.
over the last couple years, he's done it. The Kobe Memorial, shutting down the games, bringing the 8 and 24 on the floor. He's just dealt with everything great.
Yeah.
And people boo commissioners all the time because a lot of times commissioners is like Tagliabue's or what's the NFL Goodell's, and they just be kind of like dickheads. It's just making
Be
$40
villains.
million.
Yeah.
But Silva really is like for the people. The fact that they've completely changed, like that collective bargaining agreement has made mid-level motherfuckers filthy rich.
Mhm.
Like Literally, like motherfucker, Mike Conley Jr. got $150 million
Tristan
contract.
Thompson got 90 million.
Yeah,
He like me out there.
That shit is crazy. It's like wow. So it's like Adam Silver really is the GOAT
Yeah,
of fucking commissioner, being a commissioner in professional
So
sports.
going into the playoffs, who y'all like?
I think the con is LeBron gonna win the chip and he ain't gonna get the credit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't
He
see
ain't gonna
that.
get the credit.
I think he
It's
should. I think
LeBron,
he
he
can get
never
more
get the
credit.
credit.
I think he gonna get more credit.
Oh, it was
It's like an against all odds situation. Yeah, but
It's a lose.
you gotta go from.
And if he don't win, oh, he's supposed to win.
It's no home court
They're not
advantage for
even LeBron
nobody.
fans,
It's
but
a
I
neutral
hate this
ground.
movie.
Oh, do that technically count for Orlando?
What you mean?
Yeah,
Well,
man.
no, they not.
They in there
They
by
not-
themselves.
Yeah, so you got neutral ground for everybody except Orlando and Miami. You got neutral ground. You got a situation where you shut the season down. I know motherfuckers conditioning went out the window. Niggas was at their side bitch crib,
I know they
smoking
like-
hookah,
Yeah.
drinking Mai Tais and all that for the last 3 months. They probably thought the season was over. You seen how hard people fought to not bring
do
the
it, yeah,
season
yeah.
back, especially the Clippers. So that alone tells me they ain't built. I don't trust the Clippers to win a championship. Their mentality is wrong. Lou Will getting caught at that Magic City
City.
No, but
nonsense and all that.
it's a different. I mean, I heard the backstory. I don't know if it's true or not.
It's
but-
full of shit. I seen Lou Will
always a
walking
backstory.
I heard
live
the
with
big
92
story.
hoes that all look like his girlfriend. That nigga was not at Magic City for no chicken wings.
You know how much
Full of
chicken?
shit.
How much chicken he rolled past?
You know how
to get
long
the
it
Magic
takes?
City
You know how long it
motherfuckers?
takes to get to Atlanta from Orlando?
Orlando, yeah.
No, but he was there for a funeral.
You can
Media
send
control.
somebody. like,
Media control.
he's a fool. Number one.
When I
So-
saw it, my initial reaction was like,
Chicken
is
wing.
there a Magic City in
in Orlando, like how did you even get to Atlanta? Like you got a hall pass to do something legitimate, and then you went and did some nut shit.
Yeah.
So that alone tells me y'all ain't where y'all need to be in order to take on the
And
task.
How they
serious
look
this
to
is.
you though?
I'm gonna keep it a
They
buck with
look,
you.
I mean, they look good.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you as a motherfucker
talented.
who really
They
watches.
talented,
who
but I don't
really-
think I don't trust nobody over LeBron.
As a motherfucker who really just watches a lot of basketball and really gets into this shit, and I got homies who really break down like the analytics and the science of this shit. Me personally, when it comes time for the Lakers to play the Clippers, I want Lou Will on the floor because he's a defensive liability. And I watched the games where LeBron literally just hawked him on the pick and roll because him and Montrezl Harrell, they cannot defend against it. So it's like, yeah, Montrezl Harrell can grab a rebound and Lou Will can shoot a three, but you gotta make every three and y'all gotta grab every rebound because look, the last game they played, LeBron had 16 assists. He was literally just coming over the back screen, dropping down for the pick and roll, and he was picking AD and Dwight. Dwight Howard had 19, AD had 37. He was just picking who he wanted to lob the shit to, and it's like Lou Will cannot defend against that shit. So motherfuckers the other day was like, oh, the Lakers only beat him by 2, and Lou Will didn't play. And I'm like, yo, Lou Will, how did the Lakers?
I hate that he got hair
I
now.
hate that.
He
That's why
got
I
to hear
said when
some
LeBron
bullshit
win,
after every
they're not
win
gonna give
or
him the
loss.
credit.
Who you like in the East though?
Milwaukee or Toronto.
I
I'm
got
about to say
sleeper.
that Toronto because they deep.
Yo,
I
they
ain't gonna lie to
still
you,
good.
that Bulls-
They're excellent. They're
look
excellent.
good.
And that whatever playoff curse they had,
No, that's over.
LeBron not in the East and Nick not in
I'm
Toronto.
gonna keep it a beat with you. I personally feel like Nick Nurse is probably the best coach in
They
basketball.
gonna say the coach of the year, yeah.
And
Over Popovich?
yeah,
That-
Popovich, his legacy is his legacy. But right now,
That's what we in love with.
Nick
yeah.
Nurse, and if we keep it at a buck, Brad Stevens is up there
Oh
too.
my
But
God.
I think Nick Nurse is just the best coach in basketball because to lose a figure as polarizing as Kawhi Leonard, and it ain't even the on the court. It's keeping these motherfuckers focused off the court. Now don't get it fucked up. Kyle Lowry got a lot to do with that shit, and I always give Kyle Lowry a lot of shit, but he's your floor general, and you able to
He
run
stole
through him.
hella All-Star appearances. Go ahead.
But Rob, that's probably why Rob got you blocked.
we just got to the bottom.
Yeah,
of it.
we just figured it out.
I hate it.
Because Rob's a Kyle Lowry stand.
Yeah, alright, see.
And
So
I always tell him Kyle Lowry ain't shit.
He the
And
most he the
literally,
uncle with it.
if we could be having a good conversation, I'll be like, yo, I don't fuck with Kyle Lowry. All right, I'm
He
gonna
already had a
like
long
that's
drought in the playoffs where he played like up
But
and down.
It was
These
the combo with him and
He looked good the
DeRozan.
other night against
yeah,
LA.
they both.
It was the combo.
Kyle Lowry is very, very good though. As much shit
Yeah,
as I
yeah,
give him, he's
yeah.
very good. And Nick Nurse to me is the best coach in basketball. So the Raptors in losing Kawhi and the fact that you can keep them as focused as they've been, and to where you got FVV and fucking OG and you got like they're just playing out of this fucking world. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. The same way he said he trusts LeBron, I don't trust Giannis. I just don't. Like at the end of the day, James Harden is a fool, and James Harden is another Magic City nigga.
He's another
But James Harden had a very good point
bubble.
where it was like, yeah, it's easy to run and jump when you 7 feet.
How you feel about the rest of the Bucks though?
I figure the Bucks system is brilliant as far as what they did. They figured out that Giannis can stretch the floor off of fucking 6 steps. So we're gonna put him on the floor, and then we're just gonna surround him by shooters. Look, fucking Giannis takes the floor. He's got Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Bogdan, and fucking Kyle Korver. It's
and
just
a young boy from Villanova.
It's just
I can't say his name.
I forget his name. He all
DiVincenzo, something like that.
DiVincenzo, that's my man.
Who you like on the East?
Toronto.
I'm gonna say the Heat.
I don't trust Jimmy Butler.
I don't think
He has to comb his hair.
And a lot of people talk about Tyler Hero. They don't talk about the other white boy.
Dragic?
No,
Dragic.
Duncan Robinson. Yeah,
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
Dragic
I like
is back in Yugoslavia.
Yeah, no, he there.
I mean, just
He got broken.
physically he's there.
They on my list of.
You talk about stealing an All-Star appearance. Dragic,
Dragic,
Dragic
he
stole
stole
the hell out of one.
Yeah.
3 injuries. 3 niggas got injured, and they wasn't fucking with Ben Simmons because he was rookie. And they gave Dragic. When they announced it, like Dragic is in the All-Star game, I'm like,
Miami
the celebrity
Dragic.
game? I was like, what the fuck?
Like, damn, Dragic, sophomore?
That's my pick.
3 motherfuckers got injured, and they wouldn't give it to Ben Simmons because he was a rookie. That's how Dragic.
Miami might go Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they ain't going.
I think they upset somebody.
I would take.
Y'all
Toronto.
said the Bucks or Toronto. I like the Heat to upset one of them.
I just don't
like the
trust
Bucks.
Giannis.
I don't trust Giannis.
You think he can get strapped? Like,
I mean,
seen
you
him all
watched it.
over
You saw it.
before.
Like, I don't know if
He
you
was
really
crushing.
watched the Eastern Conference Finals from last year. Literally, my
Nobody
Rod, like,
think
we,
that's
like,
No, y'all just lost Ben Simmons.
That's why I got this.
I just lost Ben Simmons.
Well, I ain't a Sixers
He
fan.
finished.
that was, even with him.
I'm a Melo fan.
I got an alert
Boston
since we've
did
been
them that
here.
one
They
year,
got
but
Cleveland is putting together a trade package with Ben Simmons.
That's crazy.
Right now,
That's breaking
Like
news.
my man Rod is doing sports bet shit.
they
Literally
said Andre Drummond to Cleveland to die
last
too.
year in the Eastern Conference Finals, when the Bucks went up 2-0, Rod literally hit me and was like, "Yo, take the Raptors to win the series." I'm like, no. He was like, "I'm telling you, Raptors gonna win the series." The Raptors won 4 straight games. He was just like, I saw it the other night, yo. Giannis really just gets these fucking stretches where he's like,
Strides, yeah.
he has these strides where he's just up and down, galloping down the court. But he was like, if the defense can switch and stop him in half court, they had nothing for him, yo. And sure enough, the next game, the Raptors won by 13, and the Raptors won by 12, and then game 4, and they tied that shit up, and it was like, oh shit. Raptors won 5, then they won 6. and
Before we
they got
switch
the
names,
fuck
let me
out
ask
there.
y'all who y'all like to get the award? Who get what award?
I think they have to give it to Giannis as
Yeah,
much shit as I hate.
Hey, I really want to see Brian get it, but
He coached through the season.
No, you don't.
No.
He coasted the season.
LeBron literally, like,
LeBron is LeBron.
I've
LeBron, but he turned up more.
LeBron is out there doing some wilt shit where he's dominating the game in a different manner just because out of necessity and because people saying that he can't do it. And he just decided, I'm going to lead the league in assists and went out there and did the shit.
I just want to say this. This is the effect, and this goes back to, I guess, bringing things full circle, what you asked us about podcasting and shit. And like we talked about how many motherfuckers started podcasting or doing podcasting. And it's like, people look at us and be like, oh, y'all are like the big dogs as far as like the organic podcast of the city.
The big dogs out of the little dogs.
Yeah, and I never really like, I don't get on Toronto like, because I like seeing everybody try to win. I like that shit. Like, I'll come to a podcast in a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you do something effortlessly, it takes away from the overall allure to the shit. You understand what I'm saying?
We know what we get from it.
Right. So, like, motherfuckers will, like, if you have a really good show, not y'all, I'm speaking proverbial, but like,
not a really good show, huh?
Huh?
That's how that just sound like.
No, that's what I said. I'm not saying y'all. I'm speaking proverbial. I'm just saying, like, in general. So it's like, for us, people almost like expect us to do
at
a certain level,
right.
whereas like another podcast, they'll be like, oh, I didn't think they shit was gonna be that good. You understand what I'm saying? So Bron has been doing this shit now for almost 20 years, to the point where numbers that Bron does aren't even like staggering anymore.
But
they
might
should
change
be.
for
30, 10
everybody
to
else.
10 is just like
35, 10, and 10 is like,
But if
Tuesday.
TJ Warren doing it,
ain't that wild?
Yeah.
So it's like you look at it like LeBron. I had to like really explain this to like one of the older niggas in my job the other day. LeBron right now is 4th all time in scoring. Number 4. He's gonna be. I mean, he's number 3. You're right. He passed Kobe. He's number 3 in scoring. He's I think he's 8th in assists. He's gonna finish number 1 in scoring and number 5 at least in assists. And he's gonna finish top 25 in rebounds. That doesn't even make logical sense because everybody you look at that's high on that point list, they not high on that assist list. Like
definitely not high on the rebound.
You look at like Wilt, Shaq, Karl Malone. They're high on the motherfucking point list, and then they're high on the rebound list, but they're not high on that assist list. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Bron has literally just created a gold standard for what he is and what he does to the point where people don't even marvel at the shit no more. I saw the numbers today. Giannis is averaging 27, 11, and 6. He's in his prime. Yeah. LeBron's in his 17th year. He's averaging 26, 11, and 8. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it don't even make logical sense. So it's like, for me, LeBron left the Cavaliers, right? Went to the Heat. The Heat didn't make the playoffs the year before they got there. They went to 4 straight championships.
And 1-2.
1-2. He left the Heat and went back to Cavaliers. The Cavaliers didn't go to the play. They were the 10th seed in the East the year before he came there. They went to 4 straight finals. He left the Cavaliers, dysfunctional. He left the Heat, dysfunctional. He's in LA now, they're the best team in the West. And LeBron literally went to, people don't marvel at this shit enough. He went to 8 straight championships.
Ran the East.
He led 2 different teams to 4 straight championships. He didn't get an MVP for none of that shit. And that's where I've gotten to the point where
when people hate on him and talk crazy.
Personally, I've just gotten to the point where LeBron's MVP years are over.
Yeah.
Nothing he can do that's gonna marvel
because
people
it's him
anymore.
versus him.
It's him, and not even him versus him. It's him versus ghosts. Like at this point, it's LeBron versus Jordan, and there's nothing that you can do to get them two on the floor at the same time to see who's.
It's just that you got them naysayers that I hate of saying, "Oh, he went to straight finals." Like I brought up that point perfectly even with E and you. Like I just don't feel like you should disregard LeBron from that
8 straight finals.
Alright. But y'all sit up there and say Jordan went to 6-0. But LeBron still went to 8 straight.
I don't even want to get into this. Jordan was playing against tax accountants and trashmen.
Yeah,
them niggas had to go to work the next morning.
And he was in the Wizards jersey when I started watching.
He was an underdog one time. Was the underdog one time in the finals?
I think that was the Lakers finals, right?
No.
I think the Magic was the Magic,
or was it?
One of the Jazz.
97, 98.
Against the Jazz.
Karl Malone won the MVP.
Yeah, it was underdog. So you went to 6 finals, 5 times you was the favorite. So you took care of business. Like you didn't face a great challenge.
And then I always say, people look at the teams that LeBron faced in the finals.
Yeah, look at the team that he faced on his way to the finals. Like he had to go against that Detroit team that dismantled the Lakers in order to get to a deep playoff run.
A lot of people don't talk about that Detroit team when Rasheed Wallace went over there.
Yeah. They were dogs.
It always started Boston. Y'all
statistically, that Detroit team is the greatest defensive team in history.
I go back to what you said. When I knew LeBron couldn't win, when people said that Game 5 in 07 against Detroit wasn't impressive, there's nothing he can do that's going to really impress nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's
what he had
25 straight points, 29 the last 30. That's not impressive.
Like honestly, it's again for me, LeBron is you gotta see him in real life to really like grasp what the fuck it is. Like I've sat courtside a game, he walked. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? Like when you hear older niggas be like, oh, the niggas from the 90s, he wouldn't be able to do that. They'd knock him on his ass. And I'd be like, bro, Charles Oakley, 6'7", 225.
He was
that was a bruiser.
Yeah.
Anthony Mason, 6'9", 225. That's a bruiser. PJ Brown, 6'10", 230.
PJ Brown.
LeBron is 6'8", 260.
And had to come back down.
Like,
260.
I'm
higher than Jordan, faster than Jordan.
I'm like, dog, LeBron is 45 pounds heavier than Charles Oakley, and he's all muscle.
Yeah.
Like, he has no fat on him, and he's 40 pounds heavier than Charles Oakley. I'm like, what exactly do y'all think? Mind you, Charles Oakley compared to LeBron stinks in skill set. What the fuck do you think Charles Oakley is supposed to do with the man? Like,
besides pray.
Did you see what Rodman say? LeBron game too simple. Rodman said himself and Pippen to strap him up. He won't score. So okay.
Rodman,
and you watch the old highlights of Barkley on.
This is the thing with the older niggas that they'll be like, oh, we would have strapped you down. It's like, yeah, you were strapping down Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were strapping down players with no skills.
Like you weren't strapping down someone who's bigger, stronger, faster, can jump higher,
More
is
athletic,
smarter,
has
and
a
has
better
a
basketball IQ.
You weren't
Y'all couldn't
strapping.
even really strap Magic in that.
Like let's be honest with you. Like the same way we talk about Jordan with his astronomical numbers, it's like y'all weren't strapping Mike.
Yeah.
And Mike was 6'6" and could just jump high. So y'all weren't strapping Mike. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all
Mike didn't
niggas.
have no skills for the last 4 or 5 years.
Let's keep it a buck. Y'all wasn't
Mike was all
strapping.
athleticism.
He was all athleticism.
Y'all wasn't strapping Reggie Miller.
And you gotta remember back during that time too. How many mics was like
0. There were no.
You
There
look
was
in the
no.
league now, it's so many athletic players.
Everybody's Michael Jordan athletic.
I think it was like Clyde Drexler was maybe one.
He was on his way out.
And he was on his way out.
But it wasn't too many athletic. Maybe
Like,
Sean Kemp.
I remember Kenny Smith
Sean
was
Kemp.
like.
Sean Kemp was
I remember.
No, he used to jump out the
He
speed.
was.
He was.
Sean Kemp was one of the most
Oh, you about to
athletic.
court the fat Sean Kemp. But
When was that?
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Cavaliers,
He
Sean.
put on weight. He
He's
put
Sean
on a
Clark.
lot of weight. Sean, yeah.
Some of them jerseys the motherfuckers put on towards the end, dog.
But I remember Kenny Smith was talking about how, the defensive schemes and teams that LeBron would have had to face in the late 90s, early 2000s might have been too much. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Kenny Smith, like, y'all wasn't strapping Kobe.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't strapping AI.
He
Y'all
was a
wasn't strapping
skinny
Ray
kid.
Allen. Like, what the
Skinny
fuck
high
are y'all
school
talking
kid.
about? Like, LeBron first game in the league, he had 30, and Carlos Boozer was like talking shit, like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna come right in and
he thought he
be
was
the
the help.
man.
Him and
Yeah.
Ricky Davis.
Remember I sent you that Ricky Davis,
Yeah.
Darius Miles, and
Carlos Boozer, like, yeah, I don't see him coming in and just taking over the team. Carlos Boozer was on the trade block that night. They like, yeah, we got this big light skinned nigga with a bad Beijing
Joe
job. We
Biden ass.
send his ass right wherever y'all need him to be. Like, real shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like,
He comments say, "Oh,
Yeah.
even Jordan made a comment that a high school player think he's good until you going into the league against dude that's already competitive. Once he get there,
I
he'll
always
see."
say this shit about LeBron, and this is just the craziest part when you really think about it in the grand scheme of things. 2006, LeBron faced the Pistons team in the playoffs, Game 5. The Pistons were the reigning NBA champions. They had an all-star, all-fucking-world team. They had Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tajon Prince, Rasheed, Ben Wallace. The team was loaded, and it was coached by Larry Brown.
And they had bench players as well.
LeBron single-handedly walked that team into the deep waters in 2006. Scored 29 out of the last 30.
That was 2007. 2006 though, he lost to them in the game 7.
2007, right. Walked them into the deep waters. Do you know where LeBron was supposed to be in 2007? Last year of college. He did this to the world champion Pistons single-handedly. Could you imagine this nigga playing Texas Tech? Imagine what the fuck that would have looked like with LeBron out there. That's where he was supposed to be at, last year of college.
Yo,
It's crazy as fuck when
I got
you really
one
think
more.
Like
about
the
it.
same thing you just said was the same way I felt about, even though he lost in 2008. How does a 5-year player go
07.
against? No, 08 was when he lost to Boston in the
Against the Eastern Conference Finals.
How do you, a 5th-year player, go against them
3
veterans?
Hall of Famers and Rondo.
Though, plus Gary Payton, James Posey, and you take them to a game 7 when it comes down to the last minute.
Dog. Like, LeBron really is that fucking special. He's nuts. He's crazy. What was your last question, though?
This could be our last, John. Things men should let go in order to make a relationship work.
Ego.
Yeah, I was gonna say pride, yeah.
Ego and pride. That's the main thing, and who you used to be. Like at the end of the day, if you
Yeah,
know,
I needed to hear it because I
at the end of the day, if you really are committed and want a relationship to work, you gotta let go of who you used to be and the potential of what you might be missing out on. Like you gotta be willing to submit to the relationship, not even submit to your partner, but submit to the relationship for its greater good, and be willing to sacrifice. Like, oh, this bitch down the street that want to suck my dick, like it's not worth losing what I have. You know what I'm saying? And usually with men, unless we have a healthy fear of losing our partner, we just run roughshod on her and just gut her the fuck out and don't take the relationship as serious as we could. And then you get with somebody, then you blow through that relationship, and then you get with somebody else that don't treat you as good, don't fuck you as good, don't give a fuck about you.
Ain't cook.
And then you looking back like, damn, I fucked that up. And it always takes us to go through it to realize like that we shouldn't have did it. Whereas it's like, instead of just recognizing what you have in front of you, because you took your ego out of it, you took your pride out of it, and you can just appreciate what you have going on.
pretty much it, man. Like, you just gotta remove pride. Honestly, that's the biggest thing. It's like you have to become like one in a relationship, like a serious relationship. So you have to bring the best version of yourself, and they have to bring the best version of themselves, and then hopefully, like pieces of a puzzle, it lock in. But I've been in this shit for a while, so it's just like it's just one of them things where it's like it's up, it's down, it's all around. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's hard to explain because it's just one of the things where like you just know, like or you don't.
That's where I was about to go.
Yeah, it's not some shit you get. Like people be like, my perfect love story is gonna be like this, and it just be like you gonna get beat. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate to be that guy, but it's just like you gonna get beat up. I can just tell. And it's like no, you really gotta you gotta go through it with somebody to really, really like how we talked about. I guess full circle. The first couple podcasts stink. Yeah. And that's kind of what the first couple years of a relationship. Like I look back on Jones, like, them Jones was awful. You know what I'm saying? But you stick through it and you learn your partner. Yeah. You learn their tendencies, you learn what makes them tick, you learn what makes them happy, what makes them upset. You don't do this, you don't do that, just because that's gonna start an issue and that's gonna be a thing.
I think for me, and I'm getting there now, I've realized like a lot of things that I hold on to and where I'm trying to go, it can't go with me. As far as you get advice, ideologies, you get things that have happened to you. You start thinking about things you got away with.
Right.
At one point, you was on the outside of somebody else's relationship doing the same things. You know what I'm saying? The fact that a lot of men, not all men, but men look at marriage as us losing something instead of gaining something. You know what I'm saying? I've been thinking about that too. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, sometimes it's not even about the person in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And we've been at the crib, like the last couple of weeks, we've been going to war. I tried to go up AC, trick my way out of it and all, and that shit ain't work. You know what I'm saying? So I realized, like, as a man, it's like certain shit I gotta let go. Like, and it's scary as shit.
And sometimes you gotta be willing to be vulnerable also, and just honestly admit how you feel. Like a lot of times as men, we guard our feelings because we don't want to feel like she gonna use it against us later on down the line or whatever. But if you with a real woman that really care about you and love you and really fuck with you, she's not gonna exploit you in that manner. So you gotta be comfortable to be vulnerable and be like, this is how I'm feeling, this is why I feel this way. You could have done this better. Just lay it all on the table.
The problem is, like we talked about earlier with the social media, people using it for the wrong shit. It's like motherfuckers can't wait to like run to the timeline with some nonsense. Like, we saw the whole shit with the coach shit. And I just be on to tip with myself. It's like, whatever y'all decide to do in y'all relationship, cool. But why the fuck do you take pictures and videos of like your significant other in a compromising situation and then use it like to put that shit? It's just like,
only to turn around and come back to the timeline and get back together, and then you trying to normalize cocaine use because everybody realizes, he was sniffing coke off you, so obviously you probably put him on to doing this shit. Like, so now because you look like an idiot because people are seeing y'all back together, you gotta play cleanup when you could have just left your problems in the house.
There's no reason to take. Like if we decide we're gonna do like, if she come to the house like, babe, we gonna take this bitch up a notch tonight. Like, all right, what you got? She like, Scrub is like, oh shit. Like, if that's what we decide to do, and that's where we at, and I'm sniffing coke off your ass, and I look up and see your phone, it's like, what the fuck is you? What the fuck is you filming this shit? What the fuck? So it's just like, it don't make sense. Some of the shit you see with relationships, but that's why people are so afraid to be in their true self or be vulnerable, like he said, because you're gonna use this shit against me down the line, or you're gonna try to play me, or what? And that's where motherfuckers be. That's the Philly shit. You trying to play me? Like that's what you trying to play me? Cause like motherfucker, what's up with you, boy? You trying to play me? Like that's where motherfuckers
I brought it up in order for a relationship to work. What do you let go of? I brought that up because me personally, I feel as though, men, we got our ways. We talk. We can get our way out, apologize our way out of shit and all that shit. But I feel as though, for me, even if I do that, if I don't go about it if I don't go about it this way, different, whether it be 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years,
bite you in the ass.
I'm going to be at this same argument again.
Right.
And not be good at getting past it.
Sometimes you gotta, like, problem avoidance as opposed to problem solving.
Right.
Like, sometimes you can, like, I peep myself going off the deep end, being me, and I be like, let me reel myself back in to avoid this problem. Like, because it
Every
saves
argument
me,
not worth winning.
every argument's not worth an argument, and everything that I think is a thing is not a thing.
That's another
Right.
thing with being a man. You have to understand, like, as a man, you're competitive by nature.
Right.
No matter what you're doing. Like, realistically, one of my best friends, Steve Jenkins, he 21 me one day in Madden, and I stole him. I punched him in the face. I couldn't take that shit. Like, as a man, you just competitive by nature. You don't want to lose at nothing. You'll cheat. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You don't like to lose, and you realize being with a woman, I've dead ass been like, I'm gonna just let her win this one, and that's where you kind of
I gotta learn that.
like you like.
That's what I'm
like-
at with learning
I
the.
gotta learn that.
Discretion.
She's wrong, but I'm still
I
trying
know
to get my point
goddamn
across.
well I'm right.
Yeah.
I know this.
But for the sake of what we got.
Yeah.
I got
Because
the
it could go that far.
I got the textbook. I know the answer.
I got the answer key in the back.
Yeah, I googled it, motherfucker. It's safe right here. I'm telling you, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But you literally just get to the point where you just like, you right. And not like a sarcastic you right.
Yeah,
Dead
that's
ass
another
like,
thing.
no, I see what you're saying. No, that's right. You
I'm
make
there.
sense.
I'm-
That's where you kind of gotta
I'm
be.
there.
Because perspective matters. So it's like you could be factually correct, but her perspective on it may be different than
Yeah.
yours. So her approach is leading her to a different answer or a different result.
And I brought that up because I remember Lauren London did an interview and she was saying how Nip was able to handle her when she
Yeah.
got like that. And you spoke on that too.
Yeah.
As far as like, when they get there, you don't have to jump in that ring.
No.
Yeah. No.
And we make that mistake. What the fuck you talk? Yo, I said, you know what I'm saying? And as men, if you wanted to work,
Yeah, if you don't want it to work, do whatever the fuck you
yeah,
want.
because
Like, I don't
sometimes
care, like-
I know niggas that basically say I ain't gonna cheat on her, but if she mess up one more fucking time,
Like,
I'm
I'll be
gonna
honest
blow
with
this
you.
shit
Like
up and get out of
something
here.
I had to learn in my relationship. And this is just me being like honest. I had to learn staying there and figuring the shit out. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
I'm with you. Go
we
ahead.
would start, and I could see it coming. The way she would sit, and she look. I'm putting my shoes on. I'm going to the casino, like I already know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm learning
and
that
I
too.
was vicious that boy. Like she start tripping, I'm going to
Come on.
Sugar House.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I lie because I'm going to Harris, just in case she try to throw. You
gotta pull up
yeah,
and
no, they're
Yeah,
my
but
purse.
I feel like we don't appreciate that though.
Say it again.
I feel like some men don't appreciate that
Appreciate what?
a woman that's willing to fight.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like I didn't. Like I would legit.
No, but I'm a vicious. I'm out bull.
Yeah, I would, and I had to stop doing that
Yeah.
shit because it's just like
You don't solve nothing.
You don't solve nothing. Like, and I would be back, go gamble, come back 4 in, put my head in the door like this. You know what I'm saying? And it literally, like one time we had an argument. I bounced. I went to Parks actually. Was in there. I was in this like 5:30 in the morning. Came home. Came in like it was all dark. She was in the bedroom. Cool. I sat down on the couch and shit. As I sat down, the light turned on. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, you was waiting up. And it's just like, yeah, I had to stop doing that shit.
Your
Like,
problems are still fine.
yeah, it's
no matter
like
where you leave them
being
at, they're
able to
fine.
just like find a resolution.
And we spoke on that. We spoke on like a breakup break doing that shit.
You don't really solve shit.
Yeah, and you add people to the scenario and all that shit. That's what I was trying to tell you know, me and my girl was talking about it, and I tried to tell her, like, you know what I'm saying, I've been there, you know what I'm saying, and I started seeing my last girlfriend was 5 years older than me. My girlfriend 5 years younger than me.
Right.
I was about to say something really funny, but I'm not.
The
I'll say it over here.
things,
What, the girl you with now 5 years younger than you?
yeah, the things I
Doing it
used
the
to.
right way. Continue.
The things I used to, I started seeing, I started giving her shit that I used to do,
Right.
as far as energy, and then
Oh, because you the old head now.
Right.
In the situation.
now I'm seeing a woman grow, and I see the
You gotta
headache.
go. When you dating a young woman, this is a jewel for everybody out there. You gotta give her room to grow, man. You gotta give her
I
that
literally-
space
I literally
to
had this
become
conversation.
into who she's gonna be. Because if your girl 23, 24, 25, she's not who she's gonna be
26.
at 28 or 29 or 30.
I said
26.
She ain't there yet.
I know.
I had this conversation with somebody the other day.
And you
I
expected
had somebody
her.
dealing with me because I had somebody watching me go through
She
it.
told me that her and the guy, they just recently like split, and they started fucking with each other like in teenage years, and now they like our age, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, so yeah, y'all really don't know what y'all like and
Yeah.
want, and you kind of like, not saying you wasted them years, but it's just you going through it with a motherfucker who's your age, it's like people don't. This is nothing people don't dig, and this is like not trying to be the R. Kelly, but it's like I feel like a older person, not like an older man or older woman, not like creepy older,
No, but
like when you 18, you should realistically probably be dealing with somebody who's 23, 24, someone just a little older that has just more of a perspective on life
and more experience, and
more
can talk
experience,
you
not
and
on some
lead you
freak
through
hoe
certain
shit,
situations.
but just when you 17 and he's 17, or you 17 and she's 17, y'all are going through the same thing together, and y'all are like, neither one of y'all know what the fuck is going on. It was like, for me, when I was 20,
Blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind. When I was 20, I was fucking with a chick that was 32, and she was the one that really like.
I was 19. My baby mom was 25.
It was turbulent, and she almost stabbed me. But
learned some shit.
But I learned a lot fucking with her. I learned a lot sexually. I learned a lot emotionally. I learned a lot mentally. I just learned a whole lot dealing with her because she'd been through a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
She had her crazy one was, I was trying to talk to her daughter. It's wild, right? Sounds
Me and your
nuts.
mom ain't working out. You want to move?
No, I'm saying when I met her, I was trying to speak to the daughter.
Oh shit!
But then she was 32, about to be 33. Her daughter was 17.
She botched you
I was
out.
fucking 19, about to be 20. I was trying to speak to her. And she kind of like flagged me, and the mom was like, I'm like, shit, what the fuck you talking about? And that's really how the shit went down. And I started fucking around with her, and it was just like, you learn a lot going through that process. And I'm not saying it's normal, you're supposed to do that.
Right.
Like, every 19-year-old should be fucking with somebody 32.
No.
But when you go through these situations, like you said, perspective, experience, it's just way different than somebody your age.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to where you 24 and he 24, it's like, y'all both on the tip like,
Who gonna learn from who?
and then whenever the split happens, it's like, damn, do I even like this shit? Do I like this? Do I like that? Do I like doing this? Do I like being here? Do I like? You really have no concept of what it is. You don't know yourself.
Yep.
And that, you know what I'm saying?
And they always say you don't know what you don't know. So if I don't know something and you can't teach me or lead me into the direction of the answer, we right back where the fuck we started from. Like, and that be a lot of the problems is like in relationships is like, where do you get your information from? Like, where is the level of experience from? Like, I done been through every scenario you can be in, indeed. I know what the fuck you gonna do before you do it. I know why you did it. I know if you being temperamental. I know if I did something. I know everything.
What they say, I pulled the you on you.
Yeah.
She
Oh, that's
did
the
it,
worst.
and I was like, I
motherfucker.
eat it. I know that move. You ain't do it how I did it, because I put it. But you did it. It's cool.
Yeah, you did your version.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, you did your. But I'm like, okay, I see it.
Yeah, it makes
I'm gonna stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like my last situation, I try not to reach out to my parents too much. I talk to somebody older to give you a different perspective.
Right.
If you talk to somebody you know, they don't
Man,
need the
fuck
same
that bitch,
age.
man.
Yeah, that's
fuck
the
that
wrong.
nut.
That's
my
my
attitude.
advice that you need to let go. And women give that advice up.
Oh yeah.
Men don't really. A man to tell you keep your ass home. Like these streets is. That's another thing. I'm gonna say this right here. This relationship gonna work. I'm not coming to fuck back out there with y'all. Y'all
Listen,
streets is done.
listen.
Streets is a
Done.
jungle.
I'm not coming back out there. We gonna make this work.
I'm gonna
Bring
excuse
your
my
ass
40
home.
bodies the past 2 years.
Bring your ass home. Sit down. We gonna argue, motherfucker. I'm not going back out there.
I've literally told Liam, like, one of us just got to die. I'm cool.
It's trash
Like,
out there.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, the shit that's out here now, the dating shit, it just seems so just bombed out.
I don't
and
want to know
depleted.
nobody's favorite color or none of that.
It's just the whole process of relearning somebody.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
A lot of motherfuckers is out there playing. Like, a lot of motherfuckers out there not single, but they in the field.
yeah.
I'm not coming out there. Yeah, like this.
Fair catching shit. Like, they in the field.
I'm
He
not
ain't
coming
lying.
back out there, dog.
He ain't
Y'all out
lying.
there playing.
He ain't lying.
Y'all out there playing, dog. So some things I'm learning.
Mary-
I'm forcing myself to learn. I'm not coming back out
Mary
there.
John straight asked me, when we going on a date? And I'm like
Outside?
what you
Yeah,
talking
like,
about?
like it's cameras outside and shit.
I'm like, sis, you have a husband.
Right.
Get out of my DMs. Like, that shit is real. You got any more questions or we done?
How much time we got? We done?
Yeah, I'm about to figure.
All right, man. Shout out to the realest podcast ever, man. This is the 1FR episode 15. Yeah. It's like that.
It
We
is.
out.
It's like
We
shout
out.
out to Eat Tough.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Man Makes Me Sick. Shout out to Chad, and we out.
Your other homie, is that his name, Conspiracy E?
No,
No.
Chad straight gave him that name.
What's his at name?